And all of a sudden, it's a 4-run inning. Hopkins. Hopkins gets it back to Bouchard. Good morning, you sexy beast.
Visit drvancelliot.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
The Jason Gregor Show.
The timeout. Alberta has it with 3, driving with 2, pulling up, and with 3/10 of a second to go. How many more times can this team do that?
On Sports 1440.
Obashet hits the ball hard. Deep center. All of a sudden, it's a 4-run inning for the...
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Good Hopkins gets it back to Bouchard. Back to Nugent Hopkins. Pregame.
Positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, sports1440.ca. As always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And of course, we are coming to you live once again at OTR on the Rocks, Jasper Ave, 118th Street. The place will be hopping tonight. Oh my goodness. This city might, many of you might need it's a good thing you got the weekend off to recover, because a Friday night Game 2 victory in Edmonton, oh my goodness, are people going to be having fun? Kids are staying up late. You're going to have sugar rushes at home. Oh, pizza, Papa John's. Oof. Use the promo code Gregor for all you pizza lovers. Get you a good rebate. Do that. It's awesome. And of course, for the adults, pre and posting here and during the Oilers game. So you know what? They got all sorts of fun specials during the game and fun activities during the game. So you'll have loads and loads of fun. I know there's a little bit of rain going on right now, but it looks like it was just a quick shower to cool things down, and then it should be a good evening for those who are watching outdoors. But indoors is going to be hot and on the Rocks as the Edmonton Oilers look to go up 2-0 on the Florida Panthers. Now, of course, Oilers in Stanley Cup history, if they ever go up 2-0, they don't lose. So it's a good sign if you believe in history. No lineup changes for either team tonight. The Oilers will start the game like they started game 1, Draisaitl, McDavid on their own lines. And if they want them to roll together, they can totally roll them together. No reason why not. Because everything that Kris Knoblauch, every decision he makes in game seems to work. The Edmonton Oilers are an absolute train right now. 13-2 in their last 15 games. The last 6 weeks, Oiler fans, it's probably been the least stressful weeks of your Oiler fan viewing in 35 years? You've had lots of frustration, but here you are in the playoffs, and I guarantee you that if you compare, if you would have had a tracker for your stress, anxiety, nervousness last year during the Cup run compared to this year, I don't even think it's comparable. Last year was lots of ups and downs. This year, it's you know what? You had the first 2 games in LA, then they won game 3, and you're like, okay. And then ever since then, it's been pretty smooth. 4 straight wins over LA, 4-1 over Vegas, 4-1 over Dallas, and they start 1-0 against the Florida Panthers. The Oilers have figured out how to start better this year in the first 3 games of a series compared to last season. Makes a huge difference for the team. I think mentally, physically, they are not nearly as taxed as they were last year. No playoff run is easy, but right now, I believe the Edmonton Oilers, they're almost making it look a little easy for me. It has been very good, very good. So we'll get your thoughts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Of course, coming up on the show, Spec will join us right off the hop. We got Dennis Bernstein from the 4th period, Bill Lindsay, former NHLer analyst for the Florida Panthers. We got the 2-minute warning with Tate. Of course, Craig Button will be by, 5 questions. We got some comments we'll hear from the head coach. Also, I think we'll get to a conversation I had with Vasily Podkolzin. And I talked to him today, and I've talked about this a lot because I think, we mentioned it earlier this week about Jeff. And you know what? I got some fantastic responses from other people who are in a similar situation. We'll read some of those emails as well. Just the importance and the excitement of this playoff run and how it connects families. Your sons or daughters, maybe they're younger and it's the first time, and now they're watching the games with you. They're all fired up. That's the great part about living in Mountain Standard Time. The games are starting at 6:20. Imagine if you're a Florida fan, it's 8:20. You wouldn't get to experience all the games with your kids. So while it maybe isn't the best in the opening rounds, the conference final and the final in Mountain Standard Time, trust me, there is no better viewing than that. 5's a little too early because most of you got to get home from work. You can't get home by 5:20, but 6:20, you're fine for the most part. And, for kids, I rode my bike with my son to school today, and we get there and there's tons of kids at school and they're in their jerseys and they got t-shirts and everybody's fired up. Like even kids who are like, my son kind of jokes, he goes, yeah, some of the girls in our class, they didn't even watch hockey, but all of a sudden they're talking about it. So, that's what's great. Gets everybody involved. Why not? You want to feel part of it. And who doesn't like having fun? Well, except the fun sponge. But everybody else has fun. Who doesn't like it? People are dancing, high-fiving with strangers. All of a sudden in your neighborhood, people who never watch hockey, they're caring about it. They're organizing. Hey, who's having the watch party tonight? It's awesome. Now, some of you are like, I don't have watch parties. I like to watch alone. I get to be stressed all by myself. And whatever floats your boats. And then there's a few of you who choose not to watch the games because at some point, and it must have been early, they lost 2 games LA. You're like, oh, any game that I watch, they lose. I'm like, they're 13-2 in their last 15. Are you sure? But I couldn't. If you were a diehard fan, I don't see how you could not watch the game. Now, maybe you're using it as an excuse because you find it too stressful. I know there's the Pacers, right? They get up, they're walking around your house, right? Like your carpet is just getting worn down in your fan cave because somebody in your house is a Pacer. They can't sit still. They got to get up and walk, or they go in the other room for a while. The Oilers are down 3-1. How many of you left the room? Tell me what happens later. Then you go back. Oh, there's lots of different things. I find it quite good. So we'll see. Also today, we'll hear from Connor McDavid. But yeah, Vasily Podkolzin, I mentioned it. We'll hear from him. But we talked about the importance of family. Well, his younger brother Mikhail, he's 14 years of age. This is his first time ever seeing his older brother play live in the National Hockey League. Up until he had never seen a game until 2 nights ago live. He had been there in Vancouver at the draft when Vasily Podkolzin, because he was a first round selection. He was about 9, Vasily told me. And he's kind of younger, but his brother, he comes in, he's staying with Vasily right now. His parents, they're staying just a few blocks away. But his younger brother, they don't get to hang out very much. And you could just Vasily Podkolzin, you could not wipe the smile off his face when I was asking him about his younger brother. And, he toured him around the dressing room yesterday. They went into the weight room. He got to see everything. And he's just like, oh, my goodness, this is unbelievable. He kind of made a joke. He's like, yeah, I talked to Himes. Maybe he can play in Brampton in a few years. Because, of course, that guy is the owner of OHL team. So it's a pretty big deal. And, I even asked Connor McDavid, the captain, about it. And I thought he had a really good response. He said, you know what, like sometimes you don't necessarily get to know everybody, especially like the Europeans. And we've talked about this. I think at times maybe you forget that, when you're a Canadian or even an American, you know what, there's going to be a city that's somewhat close to you that you can go watch your son play. You can watch a lot of the games. Worst case scenario, even if they're playing on the West Coast and you're the East Coast, like that sucks, but it's only 3-hour difference. Right? The games aren't starting at 2 a.m. And Connor said, you know what? Like he got to meet Mikhail and he just seems how excited it was. And he feels like it forges that bond a little bit in the dressing room because you feel like you know your teammates a little bit more. And at a pressure-packed time in the Stanley Cup, having everybody, their family around and you see how excited they are, it's great. So, his brother. So if you're going to the game tonight, and you see a teenager in a Podkolzin jersey, it's probably likely his younger brother Mikhail. So he's pretty fired up. He's got the Podkolzin jersey for sure, and he is ready to roll. Connor Halley back at Sports 1440 Studios. The Oilers, as I mentioned, an absolute runaway train right now at 13-2 in their last 15 games. It's 6 weeks that basically since April 25th, where the Edmonton Oilers have just said, you know what, we're ready to roll, and they've outscored teams 62-36. So that's 4.13 goals for per game, 2.4 again. You're almost winning each game by an average of 2 goals a game. It's dominant. Yeah. And then shots on goal cons are 32.5 to 26.9. So it's not just like, Stuart Skinner standing on his head, although he has played quite well, but because he's got a .928 save percentage in that time, by the way.
Yeah, and it's funny, you kind of get the pulse, I think, from the job that we do. You get it through the text line and, the nerves of people. And I would say exactly what you said. Since maybe game 3-4 of the LA Kings series, I feel like the fan base has kind of had that quiet confidence about themselves. Some more quiet than others. Some people letting cup year. But I think for a lot of people, it's just been like, this team is so good. Even when they fall behind, they're not out of a hockey game because they'll just kind of grind you out and eventually take advantage of those opportunities. So, yeah, it's been a relatively, I think, stress-free playoff run for the Oilers fans compared to last year for sure. And, you talk about the buzz around the city, Greg. I did my mall walk today. So many Oilers jerseys. I ducked into a couple stores as well that sell Oilers gear. Many people walking out with brand new jerseys. So, I think Oilers Nation is in full swing right now.
And hey, if you're looking for something different, some of the Sports 1440 at 780, of course, 5 locations at Edmonton. They had to restock our janitor jerseys with Brown and Podkolzin and Pickard, so they actually restocked those. So if you're looking for because some people don't love wearing the jerseys, and if you want a T-shirt that symbolizes this team's depth, that's the one. So you can check it out at 780. They restocked them because our first shipment basically sold out in the first 2 days. So I think there was limited, there was a few extra smalls left, and that was about it. So if you want to stop in, I highly recommend and get them before they're gone again. So the Oilers fans are pretty fired up. Hey, Gregor, I was critical of the Bowman hiring and some of his moves. I owe him and Jackson an apology, and perhaps a week or two I might owe them a deeper, heartfelt one from Avro Arrow. Well, I guess my question to be about Bowman would be, which of his moves didn't you like? Because since he took over, Podkolzin for a 4th, then he acquired Klingberg and free agent for nothing. Wallman came in, gave up a 1st. You got Trent Frederick and Jones and a prospect for a 2nd, a 4th, and a prospect. Who am I missing? What other moves did he make? Wallman, Klingberg, Podkolzin, Frederick. Yeah, I think those are his 4 main moves. And hey, the Arvidsson Skinner ones probably didn't give you the bang for your buck at times that you wanted, but hey, and Skinner one stylistically maybe wasn't the perfect fit for the team when he's come in. He fits in fine. He's like their 14th forward now. Well, 13th with Hyman out. It's hard to criticize right now. The moves, every move he's made, Wallman and Klingberg specifically have been huge. Oh, I forgot Kapanen on waivers. Duh. That was a nothing cost. Think about it. You got Kapanen and Klingberg for nothing. And those guys are playing significant roles right now for the Oilers. It's good. Hey, Greggs, how much difference do you think a coach makes in the playoffs? How many coaches could have got the Oilers to this point from Combine Pilot? Well, I do think a coach makes a difference for a lot of different reasons, right? Like he's the one who comes up with the game plan prior to the series. They do the advanced scouting. And every button he's pushed, when he makes a line change, it works. When he puts somebody else in the lineup, it works. So I don't know if you can just say the other coach would have made every decision. Right now, Kris Knoblauch, I love he was honest. Hey, when we had the injuries late in the season, it allowed him to see some combinations that he might not have tried had McDavid and Draisaitl being healthy. And other guys got a little bit more confidence. So in a weird way, I think that helped. All year long, he was not shy from playing his depth guys. But that hurt. I don't think I could just sit here and say, well, any coach could do it, because I don't believe that. I think you know, coach like a certain player. Like you can say, you know what, you could just replace this fourth line guy with this fourth line guy and everything could be the same. Are you sure? Like, do we know for sure that if you switched out another forward that they would play the same way? Would they make the responsible plays defensively? Would they chip in offensively? Whether it's 1 goal, whether it's 5 assists, whether it's 10 points, whatever it is. So I think the coach knows, because he has made this entire group of players feel like they matter. And I think that's hugely important. I can't underrate how important it is. Hey, Greg, do you think the Oilers will try to sign Klingberg and Kapanen? Well, Kapanen 100%, right? The great part about Kapanen is none of his stats will suggest he gets a huge raise. So I think they want Kapanen back. Like, why wouldn't you? He's 28 years of age. The guy's a great skater. He's got a great shot. He's physical. He was unbelievable in game 1 on the boards. Like, you watch tonight, because Florida, that heavy forecheck, watch Kapanen's plays on the wall. He was phenomenal. So, yes, I think. Now, Klingberg, they'd love to have him back. However, I think John Klingberg might price himself out here. I think there'll be other teams that somebody might look and say, man, we need a right shot defenseman. Look, his hips are back healthy. This guy, I'll pay him $3.5-4 million. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he gets 3+. Maybe not 4, but 3+. I definitely could see it. Hey, Gregor, I'm puzzled by the final schedule. Thought the TV rights holders loved Saturday night. It would have started on Saturday, not Friday. If either series won 6 games and they had an open Saturday night with the NBA playing Sunday, given the fact that there's 2 days between games 3 and 4 while still in Florida, and then play Saturday, only 1 day between when they travel back if necessary, it baffles me. Can you make sense of this? Well, Craig, yeah, there's a few things here. So they started Wednesday. Then they would have waited 2 days to play Saturday. They couldn't have started Thursday because the NBA schedule was already out. So they didn't want to do that. This way, yeah, you give up a Saturday, the first one, but they want 2 days travel if they can, not every time, between the cities. So had you started Wednesday and then played tomorrow, then you wouldn't start again until Tuesday, then Friday, then you wouldn't have played the other Saturday anyway. It wouldn't have it wouldn't have mattered that much. So that's why I elected to go with the schedule. And the reason there's an extra day between games 3 and 4 in Florida is because of the NBA. They're on the Wednesday. And the TV and the leagues don't want to play on the same night. And for one travel time to go from Edmonton to Florida, like, it's fine. Like, we don't have to pretend that these are porcelain doll athletes. Oh, my God, it's too hard. They're traveling from Florida on the day, and then they got to play the next night. Like, come on. They'll be fine. So, you know what? They'll take a Friday night game. I don't think there's going to be anybody who's not watching tonight unless they got a work responsibility. Otherwise, they're going to do it. So, hey, Gregor, my buddy in Calgary says order jerseys are even out and about everywhere down there. Well, you know what? They're having viewing parties. Well, there are lots of people from Edmonton to go to Calgary. There's not a ton of Calgarians who moved to Edmonton. It's just how it is. Lots of Edmontonians like to stay here because it's a pretty good place. And then some move for work, but they're still Oiler fans. And yeah, there's a few bars in Calgary that have basically been like all Oiler fans watching games together. I've seen those videos online. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Quick break. We'll come back. Mark Spector will join us. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And go to PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, you can get the live dealer, lottery, instance, casino, and Lotto Max tonight. A cool $10 million up for grabs at PlayAlberta.ca.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
What does excellence truly mean, and how does it guide your choices? At Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't just a goal, it's their standard. They shine in every aspect, from top-tier customer satisfaction in sales and service to impressive inventory, strong customer loyalty, and prices that are tough to match. Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker, and join us for the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street.
Is it Riverside Motorsports?
No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong.
Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. You know, guys used to call me a plumber, and now they call you an AC repairman. Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay. Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. For those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Portions of this hour brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years. See all our rides at htedmonton.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back to On the Rocks, Jasper. Casper Ave, 118th. It is a positive Friday, and oh my goodness, could it be a real positive Friday for Oilers fans and that franchise if they can get a win tonight and take a 2-0 series lead over the Florida Panthers, the defending champs. Now, 2-0 lead. We know what happened. Hey, Edmonton extended the series, but they didn't win. You go up 2-0 in a Stanley Cup final, unless you're the 2011 Vancouver Canucks, you got a pretty good chance of winning. Okay? Pretty good chance. We look at Carolina, Anaheim. I'm trying to think of other teams who went up 2-0 and lost. Detroit, maybe. I'll have to go back and look. Maybe, but not many. Not many at all. Hey, Greg's, I love seeing the clips of Flames Nation podcast. Those three guys can't stop whining. It's so funny. Pathetically jealous. Shorty from Fort Mac. I will say it's an odd thing about Calgary. They do talk about Edmonton. Like, there's a little bit of an infatuation there about Edmonton. Always has been. Right? It's just like it's ingrained in that community. We'll talk about the Flames when the Oilers play the Flames. Or if they make a big trade or something. Otherwise, we don't really talk about them. But man, they'll talk about Edmonton almost every day. It's a weird, it's almost like a fetish. Weird. Let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. And hey, I'll tell you, you guys got some traditions. Well, Big Mike at GS, when they go to the games, you sit in your seat. If there's success, you're not allowed to move. So everybody has it, whether you're in the game or at home. And all GS says is go Oilers from GS Construction, as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay. I had to clear out of downtown in a hurry after practice because it's going to be so crazy. I just try to get my truck out of there before all the hard drinking Oilers fans show up.
What, are you riding your bike back in or what?
I don't know how I'm getting back, but I ain't driving. I don't know. I'll get dropped off or take an Uber, man. I don't want to be driving around down there tonight. Anyway, it's going to be awesome. There's like 18,500 in the building, another 14 to 15,000 outside the building. I was in a little bar last night just having a bite with Shelka, and the phone was ringing off. The place was dead empty. Well, you know the cabin. Your guys own the cabin, right?
Yeah.
Sitting in there, the place is dead empty on a non-game night. Like, there's no one in there, but the phone's ringing and ringing and ringing. I finally say to the waitress, "Who phones a bar?" And she says, "Oh, they're making reservations for tomorrow night. We're completely packed, 100% full on game night." So I think that's the same bar probably all across the city is doing the same. Whoever made a reservation to go to the cabin, well, I guess that's what you got to do now.
Well, on a game night, you got to plan ahead, boys and girls. Now, they are, hey, got some walk-ins available here. There's always a few great seats open. Check out the game tonight at OTR. But I'd recommend if you are walking in, you might want to get here a little bit earlier to ensure.
Oh boy, for sure.
It's going to be a chat. Now, the Edmonton Oilers, they're 13-2 in their last 15 games. It's been 6 weeks of solid, really good hockey for this Edmonton team, Spec. And that's why I picked them at the start of this series, and I was pretty comfortable in thinking they're going to beat Florida. I know they won game one. I think Florida feels they can play better, but so too does Edmonton. What differences? Let's start with Florida. What do you think is going to be different in their game tonight?
Well, I thought that they during their pushes, they commanded the Oilers zone, they kept Edmonton in their zone. They got Edmonton into that pattern where they worked them, and finally the Oilers would chip it out to center and change, and Florida would come right back at them. So they had plenty of that time. I'm not sure that time ended up in grade A chances quite as frequently as they thought. Like, I think the Oilers have become really good at weathering the storm and realizing, hey, the other team's going to have part of this game too. We're just going to weather the storm when it's their turn. And I think if I'm Florida, the possession was awesome. The possession was awesome, but I want more to come from that possession, I think, than I saw in game one.
Yeah. I look at Edmonton, and, the players talked about it. They want to get out of their own zone smoother.
Yeah.
They had, a few too many troubles on the wall. Now, they're going to have to, and I'm curious to see how they do it, because it's not like Florida's going to stop those rims around, right? Like, they do it. They do it very well. The opposite winger is going. The guy hammers it, and then that winger, and then the defenseman comes and presses down on the winger as well. So how do you think Edmonton's going to counter that tonight?
There's a few different ways to counter it. One of them is if you give it to your centerman, like if you can get the puck in your centerman's hands in the middle of the ice down low and let him skate it up the middle, that's a place that's usually open because they are tough on the walls. Another strategy would be to bring your winger down low, so low that maybe that defenseman doesn't want to pinch all the way down there, and try to accept the puck lower. Now, of course, the Florida winger is going to be there on you, but that Florida winger is the guy that supports his defenseman. So now it's a battle with you and him, and there's no one else there. So maybe you do that. Listen, I'm not an X and O's guy, but there's got to be a way not to feed into that Florida forecheck, which begins with a defenseman who always goes forward, never backs up, right? That point man holds his blue line. And I think if you just ring it around to a winger who's way up high, I think you're just feeding that, aren't you, Jay?
Yeah, a little bit. The big way to do it is the Oilers want to spend more time in the offensive zone. That's the key for them tonight.
Great.
Right? Like if they could spend a little bit more time in the offensive zone, that you know what? They now it's not like Florida had a boatload of offensive zone time either. And Edmonton, we saw, they had a heavy advantage, especially in the third period and in overtime of shots. And so it wasn't like Florida had the puck more, but the Oilers still believe, hey, when we're on our game and you get those shifts, and let's say, your fourth line has a good shift and your third line has a good shift. And, I was talking to Craig Simpson last night, and he was mentioning the 1990 Cup Final. He vividly remembers. So, they had their fourth line went out, had a great shift. Their third line, they had all the momentum. Then their second line, and Mark Messier leans over and says, guys, we got to do something here. Right? Like, it's like the other guys are doing their job. Now we're supposed to be the scorers. And he went out and they scored a goal there, right? He vividly remembers. Messier just leans over and says, we got to do something now. Right? Like there are certain times in a game where the other guys, that momentum, even if you don't score on a good shift from your fourth line or your third line, it builds the momentum. And then the guys who should score, that's their job, right? Like that's their job. And so, you look for Edmonton, the Janmark line I thought was exceptional last game. And so when they have those shifts, like Podkolzin was unbelievable, I thought. Him and Kapanen were their two best wingers in the game by far for me. And, if that continues, Edmonton's, you're going to be able to sustain more pressure because you would think when then you switch off to your top lines, they should be able to carry that momentum a little bit easier.
Yeah, I just did Thomas Strantz's show in Vancouver's radio show, and all they wanted to talk about was Podkolzin, how good he is. And I was like, sorry, Canucks fans, but, he's not a top six player like you drafted. And oh boy, he's sure turning into a good bottom six player here in Edmonton. They were just shaking their heads. But I'll tell you what, one of the things, like, listen, you win 4-3 in overtime, Jay, it's a coin flip, right? Florida dominated the first 6 minutes overtime. They could easily have scored. They didn't. Edmonton took over from there. They did. Great. But you really got to dig deep to find places where you think your team had a huge advantage in that game over the other team, because that's how even it was. But two of the places that I see where I would rather be the Oilers is, first of all, Edmonton ran four lines and Florida didn't. Right? Florida was a three-line team in that game. Their fourth line didn't. In a game that lasted, correct me if I'm wrong, 79 minutes, right? Their fourth line barely played, 9 minutes or something. And the other thing is that I would rather be Edmonton than to be Florida is Edmonton had one 30-minute defenseman in that game, and Florida had three, and they had a couple guys that didn't play much. And as this series goes on, and it's going to be long and it's going to be hard, man, I want to be the four-line, six defenseman team more than I want to be the three-line, four defenseman team. So that, in my, there again, I don't come out of game one seeing a lot of areas of domination or this guy's way better than that guy or any of that. But I do like that about the Oilers game one over Florida.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Mark Spector joins us, Rogers Sportsnet, as game two goes tonight. No lineup changes for either side. Greer's still not ready to go for Florida. And, Spec being there this morning, Paul Maurice, it was kind of interesting with the Panthers. Like, they didn't skate yesterday, really, and they had an optional today. So I'm kind of curious. Like, you don't see that very often, right? So that was a little bit different. Whereas the Oilers, they didn't skate yesterday, but then they had pretty much everybody on the ice today. And so I'm kind of curious. Now, some teams, they don't care, but 2 days without skating is kind of odd in the Cup final.
I think it is. I think, and there could be some injuries over there. Like I'm talking to a couple people today that have been following this Florida team for 4 rounds now. And, there's some questions about Tkachuk. How well is he moving here? He took that groin injury out of 4 Nations, didn't play all year, and now he's back in playoff hockey. And they're questioning how well he's skating. Skating's not Matt Tkachuk's game. He's never going to be a speedster. But you got to be able to get around enough and not be a liability, frankly. And there's questions there. There's a little question here about Reinhart. Reinhart got hurt in that Carolina series, and how good is he? I mean, I don't know how good he is, and no one's ever going to tell you. But there is a school of thought that says maybe they're not skating because they got a bunch of key guys that don't want to skate, and maybe they don't want to out those guys by having everybody else skate.
Yeah, no, that's it is an interesting one to look for. Man, who knows? They're a veteran team. They've been to 3 Stanley Cups. Maybe it's just rest, right? And you talk to the players. What do you guys feel? I don't need to take a morning skate. And maybe it's as simple as that. But it is. I'll be watching because, both teams talked that there's a little bit of rust the last game because they've both been off for, longer than they're used to.
Right.
Although, it was funny. It was like rust in the first period for Florida. Then it was rust for Edmonton. Then it was rust for Florida.
Yeah. So, and you know what, Jay? You can't tell me that the guy that played 10 minutes in an overtime 4-period game doesn't want to skate this morning.
Yeah.
You and me, we've been covering hockey a long time here. I've covered a million guys who in that very position who played 2 nights ago, had 9 minutes of hockey. That guy wants to skate this morning. So that's, I look at that and kind of wonder. That's all. It makes me wonder.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid. The decision by Knoblauch based on practice, he's going to start McDavid and Draisaitl on separate lines. I totally agree with him. I think it makes sense. He kind of said yesterday, hey, I think Leon gets into the game more playing center. Nugent Hopkins has talked about how when he plays center, he feels he's in the game more. So I wonder and when they switch it up, obviously Kapanen, Kane, and Nugent Hopkins were fine. And we've seen it in other games when they've done it. Hyman goes down. They have no problem doing it. Corey Perry doesn't play every shift on there. But what about that Henrik Brown Frederick line? What'd you make of their game 1?
Okay. Okay. I think that listen, your third and fourth line aren't going to star every night, Jay. You know this. You're going to have a night like your fourth line was such a good line the other night. I'd be surprised if we were talking about them again after game 2. This is how the best teams work. Maybe tonight's the night that other line, the Frederick Henrik Brown line, steps up, right? Kapanen was unbelievable in game 1. Maybe tonight it's a Perry night. Maybe tonight it's a Kane night. That's fine. That's the way a good team works. You're not all awesome every night, but you got to have some guys who are awesome on every night. So my response to you would be, I'll bet you we're talking about the Henrik line a lot more tonight and the Janmark line a lot less.
Interesting.
I would say.
Okay. I quite like that. I like that Janmark, Arvidsson, Podkolzin line together in the playoffs. So
for sure.
We'll see how they go. Matthias Ekholm obviously is fine. He played 25 minutes. I asked him today because lots of times it's how do you feel the next day, right? Like you got the adrenaline, you go and he smiled and said, you know what? I actually felt pretty good yesterday because he says it's a valid question because in the game's on, when you're coming off an injury, usually your adrenaline, everything's going during the game. It's fine. It's that next day where all of a sudden now you come back, there's no adrenaline rush. And he was very pleasantly happy how well he felt. And to me, that just bodes well for the Edmonton Oilers. All 3 pairs I thought had solid games for Edmonton at different times for different reasons. And, the one thing I did notice was, some of the defensemen at times going back for that puck. And we talked about the spin rate when it comes off the boards, getting it on your backhand to see, hey, how they're going to do it. Because did you notice as that game went on, Spec, when Edmonton had possession, the defenseman behind the net. So let's say it was Kulak, right? Kulak would be behind the net. Darnell Nurse would skate up the sideboards, and then he'd go stand in the middle of the ice between the blue line and the center line. And it would force one of Florida's wingers to have to come out with him. And that's how they were alleviating a little bit of the pressure. So watch for that again tonight.
Okay, there you go. So these are the little tactics. Like you just have to get Florida's players to go somewhere other than where their assignment is. They got a system, folks. Like they got the right guys and the right system, and the guys have been playing it so long, the Verhaeghes and the Rodriguez and guys like that, they don't even have to think. They just know naturally where to go. Thus, you're in 3 cups in a row. Thus, you're one of the, best organizations we've seen in a while here. They run out their program. We all know what's coming, and you still can't beat it most nights. So you got to find a way to knock them out of their program just a little, right? And you make a great point. Nurse stands there, and they go, "Oh man, I'm not supposed to be here, but that's my guy. I better get over there." So part of the tactics are that. Let's move that other team around a little bit, shake up the marbles, and see if they don't start making the odd mistake.
Yeah, it's very true. Well, Spec, I know you might be walking downtown, so we'll let you get off so you can take a nice hike to get back there in time for a puck drop tonight. We will see you at the rink.
All right, man. Can't wait for it.
There you go. That's Mark Spector. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. And man, I'm going through it. 2-0 series deficits in the Stanley Cup Final. A lot more common than you think in the salary cap era. We'll run down those. And you know what? Hey, maybe Edmonton can. A lot of teams take advantage of home ice in those first 2 games. And the Oilers, if you do it, man, it gives you a really good chance to win. We'll see what happens. We'll come back. We'll go in. We'll talk more inside the Oilers room. We'll hear from Dennis Bernstein, Bill Lindsay in hour number 3, and more on the Jason Gregor Show live at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street, your place to watch the game. Of course, stop in all throughout the game. You got wing specials, and I will tell you, if you're like me, it's Friday. You want to treat yourself? The blackberry cheesecake swirl ice cream. Delish. I want to try it when you're watching the game at On the Rocks.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Kickstands up for a vital cause. The Edmonton Motorcycle Ride for Dad. Hi, it's Todd James, honorary ride captain. Now's the time to register for our big ride on Saturday, June 14th, starting at Blackjack's Roadhouse in Nisku.
we're raising funds and awareness in support of the Prostate Cancer Fight Foundation. Show your support by riding, donating, or volunteering. Advance registration just $40, 50 day up, and free with $100 in collected pledges. Details on the Ride for Dad Edmonton Facebook page.
Are you tossing and turning at night, unable to sleep because of mounting debt? Debt can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I'm here to guide you every step of the way so you can find peace of mind and finally rest easy. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book a free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian, and support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
It's that time again, Edmonton.
Dig the Schwab in.
Schwab Chev Buick GMC knows that it's playoff season.
Right, Schwabbing now.
But even with some late nights ahead, their boss still has the Schwab team fighting Schwabbing hard to get you into the perfect ride.
That price isn't Schwabbing good enough.
Come score a great deal on your next vehicle with up to $12,000 off 2025 diesel trucks at Schwab Chevrolet Buick GMC in Leduc. Dig the Schwab in.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers Score and Win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers Hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Love looking up historical stats. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, live at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, 118th Street. I can tell you, if they had historical stats about how many fun nights I had at On the Rock in my life, it would be about a 98% success. Maybe 99, actually. Probably 99. I can only really think of one night where I was like, didn't go great. But the rest, unbelievable. And so, if you like your odds to have fun, come to On the Rocks. If you like the Oilers' odds to win the Stanley Cup, a victory tonight would go a long way. Quickly crunch the numbers. In the salary cap era, which I think is the most realistic comparison, you go back to the 80s and pre-salary cap days and smaller league, it's different. But in the salary cap era, teams that go, it's actually in the 19 years, 14 times has the Cup final started 2-0 for a team. And of those 14 teams who were down 0-2, only two. The 2009 Penguins, the 2011 Bruins came back to win, both of them in 7. The Oilers in 06 and 24 lost the first 2 games, ended up losing in 7. Ottawa, 2007, lost in 5. Pittsburgh, 2008, lost in 6. Philly, 2010, lost in 6. Devils, 2012, lost in 6. Rangers, 2014, lost in 5. Sharks, 2016, lost in 6. Predators, 2017, lost in 6. Canadians, 2021, lost in 5. Tampa Bay, 2022, lost in 6. Florida, 2023, lost in 5. So this is a huge game for the Edmonton Oilers to just put it deeper. Now, some of these teams can extend it, but it's only Edmonton, in fact, who's gone down 0-2, who was able to push it to 7 but lose. Pittsburgh won, Boston won. That's it. The other ones usually end in 5 or 6. None have been sweeps, though, funny enough. Last time we had a sweep in the Stanley Cup final was, I think, 1996, the Panthers and the Colorado Avalanche. And I think that was the stretch of, or maybe, no, Detroit might have swept too, sorry, in 97 over Philly. I don't look that up, but I know there was like a 4-year span where it was sweep, but haven't had one since in the Stanley Cup Final. Wouldn't that be quite the story if the Edmonton Oilers could do something like that? But we'll see. We're going to get in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. We're going to get to head coach Kris Knoblauch momentarily. Action Electrical, it's your one-stop shop for everything electrical. Project, service, tag, solar, they got it all at actionelectrical.net. And let's hear from Kris Knoblauch and his team. Did you know this about the Edmonton Oilers? So the Oilers set a franchise record. They've had 4 come-from-behind victories in the third period this playoffs, including last game. They've actually had 7 wins where they trailed at some point in the game. Their franchise high is 8. But they've come from behind 4 times already in the third period alone this postseason. But the Oilers, like, they've been good in a lot of areas. They score first 10 in their last 15 games where they're 13-2. They've scored first 10 times. The 5 times they didn't score first, they won every game. Like, hey, you're 13-2, you're winning most games. They've been very good. But Knoblauch just talks about his team and what's he seen when they're trailing in games.
Obviously, they're an older team. They've been through a lot. They've seen a lot of experiences, games, up and downs, and they are very level-headed. They don't get discouraged. They have a strong belief that no matter what happens, they can overcome it, whether it's a lead that's maybe slipping away or a lead that we have to overcome and really push. We change our game a little bit, little details. Maybe we become a little more assertive, a little more aggressive on trying to score a goal, whatever it is. But our base, our structure is all pretty similar, and we don't deviate from our plan very much. And I think that's really nice from a coach's standpoint to see the guys stick with it and feel that they can overcome anything.
Well, they've shown that. There's no quit. There's no lack of faith in that room. I was also asked about Stuart Skinner because some goalies on game day, they don't even want to talk. And how it works in the Stanley Cup Final is, there's 5 or 6 players available in the room. And today, actually, there's quite a few. But so they go and they just, because usually sometimes they'll bring, like in the regular season, they'll have like one guy here, one guy there, and then you go one at a time. It sucks. So this way, it's like, you know what? You kind of rotate around. You want to get a few questions here. You want to get a few questions there. Way you go. And so Skinner stood held in court for, 10, 15 minutes. It's just very different for goalies specifically. Lots of them don't want to talk. It's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, Knoblauch was asked about Skinner's demeanor and just how confident this group is right now in their goalie.
We've got a lot of confidence in our goalies, and both of them have showed that they can win us games. Stu started, and Pix came in and gave us six starts. I believe it was 6-0, and unfortunately got injured. And Stu came in, and since Stu's coming in, he's been phenomenal. And I don't know. I think both those guys right now, you look at them and they're just enjoying the ride. Obviously, I think a lot of the guys are. We've got a good group of guys who like being together and like playing hockey. So it's just ideal. It's June. Not many guys are playing hockey right now, and they're enjoying the moment. And Stu's no different. And like anyone, they want to have success. They want to be playing well and doing well, and he is. But I like that he likes being in the situation he's in.
Well, Stu Skinner, the Oilers are 13-2 in their last 15 games. Stuart Skinner has a .928 save percentage and a 1.83 goals against. Now, he hasn't played all 13. He didn't play I think 4 of those games he wasn't involved in. But he has been very good. Oh, no, sorry, 6 of those games he wasn't involved in. He started 9. But his since he's come in, he has been excellent for the Edmonton Oilers. And they'll need it again because, Florida's going to push. they're going to come, and there's no doubt about that at all. What about his team? Like, there was a lot of hits in game one, and really, when you look at the penalties, over the glass, delay a game for an incorrect coach's challenge, stick penalty on Perry, interference penalty on Ekblad. There weren't like roughing, elbowing, charging penalties, despite the game being very physical. What does it speak about the Oilers' maturity that they've figured out how to play mean and hard without taking penalties?
Yeah, no, physical play is definitely something that's important, whether it's the regular season or the playoffs. Obviously, it ramps up in the playoffs. But, physical play is important, but probably staying out of the penalty box is more important. So we want to be as physical as possible without taking penalties. And most penalties getting called are usually stick penalties. You being careless with your stick, it's the high sticking, it's the hookings, it's the trippings. Those are the plays. So, and usually those are just being in the wrong position or, wrong spot. So we want to check well. And I think to do that, you have to move your feet, having your sticks in good places. Once you get a step behind, that's where you get vulnerable to getting a hooking call or tripping or something like that. So, going forward through the series, we want to be as physical as possible. But the primary focus also is making sure that we're not giving them power play opportunities.
Good point about the power play opportunities. Although Florida did score a power play goal. It's fair. I'm trying to think the last team whose first unit power play has 2 defensemen and their second unit has 1. Can you think of another team that does that? Like, I was racking my brain today thinking, does anybody else do that? That's what the Panthers do. And, their first unit didn't look great. Now their second unit scored. Nate Schmidt made an unbelievable. At Vasa, we've had Steve Valiquette and others talk about deception, right? A key to scoring is deception. You go watch that replay from Nate Schmidt. He walks into fakes like he's shooting on net, which means, the Oilers defenseman got to be aware of the guy in front. And then he does the pass to Marchand outside. Marchand gets outside of the lane. No one could get their stick in the lane. It's a great goal. Unbelievable deception from Schmidt. But that's why that second unit is pretty important for Florida, because their first unit, it didn't even look dangerous at all in that game. And that's obviously what Edmonton's going to want to try to continue in game 2. Also, Casper Kapanen. And just an unreal game 1. Really, since he came in game 4 since Vegas, he's played 8 games and he has been a force. I saw a stat online that his stat line in his first Stanley Cup final game, 2 assists, 2 shots, 20 minutes plus player. His dad, Sammy Kapanen, in his first NHL Stanley Cup final game in 2002 with Carolina, 2 assists, 2 shots, just over 20 minutes of play. Eerie how similar father-son stats were in that game. And Casper Kapanen, the head coach, just talks about what he's done to not only fill a role, but really make a name for himself down the stretch here for the Oilers.
We've used him in numerous situations. He's been on the 4th line. He's played a lot of time with Leon in January and Leon throughout the playoffs. Right now, through the playoffs, since he entered, I believe it was game 3 against Vegas, he has given us pretty much A+ performances almost every single night, where in the regular season, there were some of those nights, but not enough of them. And, throughout the playoffs, we were getting a bunch of guys that came in the lineup, kind of pushed him out. But we knew that at some point we were going to need him. And since we've needed him, he's really delivered. Is the physical play. He's had numerous hits. Anytime, as a coach, especially this time of the year, 2 elements that are very, very important is speed and physicality. And Casper delivers those 2 as good or better than anybody. And now the offensive ability, the other night with 2 assists, he scored some important goals, obviously the overtime winner, some empty netters at the end. So he's been bringing pretty much everything that we've asked of him and more. So it's nice to have that. Here's a guy that's been playing as well as he has, was the depth guy. Wasn't even in the lineup at the start of the playoffs. So to have him come in the lineup and play and contribute the way he is, it's been a nice bonus.
Yeah, to say it lightly, a nice bonus for sure. We'll take a quick break. Dennis Bernstein will join us. I always like to get kind of independent guy from not covering either team, get his thoughts on the series, how he sees it going, and more. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, live and on the Rocks, Jasper Ave, 118th Street. Stop in tonight, your place to watch the game and then dance the night away at OTR. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer at legacyheating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight down at Rogers Place. Oilers Panthers just after 6 o'clock. Of course, the Oilers leading 1-0. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker, former NHLer Landon Ferraro, and Donovan Paulson gets going at 5 right here on Sports 1440. Also in the city, the Riverhawks looking to remain undefeated as they kick off a series against Bellingham first pitch, 7:05 down at Remax Field. And the Stingers in action out in Montreal taking on the Alliance. That one starts at 6. RBC Canadian Open after 2 rounds. Cameron Champ atop the leaderboard at 12 under par. Richard T. Lee, Canadian, -9. He's currently tied for second. As for other Canadians in the field, Nick Taylor, -8. Taylor Pendrith, -7. Adam Hadwin and Mackenzie Hughes, both -5. Corey Connors, Hunter Thompson, Matthew Anderson, all going to advance to the weekend after getting past the cut. In the CFL tonight, you got Montreal and Toronto meeting at 5:30. Tomorrow, of course, the Elks will kick off their season in BC at 8 o'clock. Also tomorrow, Hamilton taking on the Stampeders just after 5 o'clock. And Major League Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays in action, taking on the Minnesota Twins. First pitch set for 6:10. French Open today, Yannick Skinner and Carlos Alcaraz will meet in Sunday's final after winning today. And on the women's side, you got Coco Gauff and Ariana Sabalenka meeting in the final tomorrow. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period, Florida Panthers analyst Bill Lindsay, and we'll hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
You have a choice, and it's a hard one. GMC employee pricing or 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick. A hard choice, but also super awesome. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra lineup, from the Sierra half-ton to the heavy duties. If you have cash, get discounts over $12,000 on many of our Sierras, along with GMC pricing. Or choose 0% financing on our Sierra half-ton lineup. And what a great selection of GMC Terrains and fabulous Buick SUVs to pick from. So many choices. But one thing's for sure, you are getting the best deal at Wolf GMC Buick.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. You know, guys used to call me a plumber. And now they call you an AC repairman.
Nice. Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay. Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The month of May brings machines, mud, and for us, many an opportunity. We're GS Construction, and we love the warmer weather because it means we can get to work. But to keep things moving, we need the right people on our team. You built your skills. You know your work matters. Now's the time to bring that experience to a crew that gets it. We're hiring experienced top men and pipe layers. So if you're ready to dig in and be part of a team that has your back, apply now at gsconstruction.ca for this great opportunity.
Kickstands up for a vital cause. The Edmonton Motorcycle Ride for Dad. Hi, it's Todd James, honorary ride captain. Now's the time to register for our big ride on Saturday, June 14th, starting at Blackjack's Roadhouse in Nisku. We're raising funds and awareness in support of the Prostate Cancer Fight Foundation. Show your support by riding, donating, or volunteering. Advance registration just $40, 50-day up, and free with $100 in collected pledges. Details on the Ride for Dad Edmonton Facebook page.
Jumpstart your summer with Wendy's delicious drinks. Enjoy a small iced coffee, frosty chino, or frosty fizz for only $1.99. But hurry, get your $1.99 small drink at participating Wendy's, only available until June 29th. Taxes extra.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor. Connor Halley with you on a lovely Friday afternoon. Oh, the city is buzzing, baby. You are what? 3 hours and 15 minutes away from puck drop tonight. The Oilers and the Florida Panthers. No lineup changes for either team tonight. We'll see the matchups and who gets the advantage of it. The game, I think, is going to be just as physical. Florida, obviously, you look at history, not great if you go down 0-2. So they're going to be hungry. The Edmonton Oilers, though, man, like they're so close, but they're still kind of far because you need 3 more wins. But you can kind of smell it. You can taste it a little bit if you're the Edmonton Oilers. And I would think, though, they've had great performances for 6 weeks, 13-2 in their last 15 games, dominating teams in that time span, outscoring them 62-36. So they'll look to continue that tonight. Be sure to, the Oilers are the favorite. PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, you might want to pick it to win by 2, maybe. Feel a little lucky. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, odds boost on Oiler games every home game for every Oilers playoff game. Now, let's get to the playoff report now. Of course, because the Oilers and the Kings are still rolling. Playoff report, as always, brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers as you get employee pricing going on right now. Unbelievable savings on Sierra extended HD models. I've lost my liner, as you can tell. Somehow my screen froze. So I knew the old one, but I don't know the brand new one. So I'll have to butcher that later and get the proper one once it gets reset, as Dennis Bernstein joins us. Dennis, how you doing, my man?
Doing great. I'm here in Edmonton for the 19th time in the last month, Jason. Great to be with you again.
Buddy, did you have like an apartment here for the last 4 years?
Yeah, I should have thought about it. I should have invested in real estate if I had known they would play 4 times within the Kings and Oilers. But great to be back in the city. You're right. The city's starting to buzz. Well, it's a little muted, I think, after game 1. But we've talked about it throughout. I think last year everybody was happy to be here. This year the expectation is we're going to win.
Well, yeah, I think the players themselves, ever since outside of the 2 games against LA to start that series, the Oilers haven't really been in any trouble. You're 13-2 against playoff teams. That just doesn't happen very often. That's a dominant run for 16-game period. It's hard to go 13-2 in the regular season when you get to play some of the weak teams. Never mind against playoff teams. I know you watch it all, Dennis. What's impressed you about this year's edition of the Oilers the most?
They're calm. They're a reflection of Kris Knoblauch. Right? Hey, you remember Woody? He wasn't calm. Right? When this team gets down 3-1 in games, And Jason, what is that? 7 comeback wins in 13 wins, right?
Yeah.
They just don't panic. Like back in the day before this coach, you're down 3-1. You try to make mistakes. You force things. You make the pinch. It's 4-1. It's 5-1. This team says we're down 2. No, we'll find ways to win. It's a different mentality. It's a different approach. They're not nervous. They don't. Yeah, sure. Once in a while, Bouchard might throw a pizza up the middle of the ice. But the mistakes they've made in previous seasons because they were less relaxed, it's not happening this time around. That's the most impressive thing for me is that the mindset with this team is very different.
You look at game 1, and Florida doesn't change anything. Like they forecheck, they'll dump, they use rims all the time. And Edmonton talked about, hey, they want to get out smoother. We saw them as that game went on. They would, if anytime one defenseman got possession, especially when he had clear possession behind the net, his defense partner would leave the zone and go up to stand in the middle of the ice between the blue line and the center line, and it would force one of their wingers to have to come out. So it gave Edmonton more space to break out. What other adjustments do you think the Oilers will make to try to either A, get out of their own zone quicker and smoother tonight, and B, slow down the Florida forecheck if you can?
Get a lead. Because Jason, I don't understand. Like if you're Paul Maurice and the staff, and you watch the Oilers play throughout the playoffs, especially in the LA series, right? 17-2 in the third period, flipping the puck out of the stop. Like, why did you stop forechecking? Why did you stop throwing 2 guys in? Look, you want to play, and they played a 1-1-3 for the first 6 minutes of the third period, and it worked. The bad news for the Panthers, Jason, the period's 20 minutes long, not 6 minutes long. You want to do that in the final 6 minutes? I get it. This team is too good. They're too confident. You can't do that. So I think you got to be, if you're going to lose, if I'm coaching the Panthers tonight, I want to lose because I was too aggressive, not aggressive enough. And I think they need more aggression. And the other thing is, I think they're shocked that they finally have a team that matches their physicality. The physicality of the Oilers, I saw it in the LA series. I see it throughout. Even though, you've known this has been one of their signatures. I think in game 1, the Panthers were surprised with it. So they got to be maybe a little tougher around the net, especially around Bobrovsky.
Dennis Bernstein joins us from the fourth period. Of course, he's live right at the community rink next door. Of course, I've been doing your shows live right in there. Did you bring a sweater today, Dennis? It's freezing up in that press box when there's no one in the arena.
It's worse tonight than it was on game 1. I just went up. We're doing SiriusXM pregame show up there. It's cold. Yes, I should have brought a jacket. I didn't because I'm an LA dude. I don't have a lot of coats like that. It's just, and I'm not here in January. It's June, so yeah, it's freezing here. So fans coming in, maybe bringing an extra sweater or coat for tonight.
Well, what's funny is once all the fans come in, the building's packed, right? But because all the extra heat and hot air and cheering and everything else. What do you, Adam Henrique said, and he's played in the league a long time, and I know that players say it, but like the crowd in Edmonton in the playoffs, and I was talking to a few of the national reporters, they're like, the only rink they think that can give them a run is maybe Montreal.
Yeah. And look, I'm from LA, so we're all bougie and sophisticated and stuff like that. The passion of these fans, and I mentioned at the top, like the expectation is much higher. Like they see a path to victory, they see a parade, right? And it's great. And just starting with the national anthem. I mean, come on. Like if you're a hockey fan, forget about who you root for. And I don't root for teams, right? If that national anthem's done, I'm ready to play. I would want to get on the ice. So it's just incredible how connected this team is to the city and its fan base. It's better than Montreal right now. It's a great, and Jason, I've said this before on other shows. You want to go to an arena that's an amazing place and see the best player in the world, or maybe the 2 best players in the world. Come up to Edmonton, stay at the JW. Even if it's January, walk through the Pedway. It's just a great experience, and it's just been dialed up because, again, the fans can taste it. Like the players can taste it. I'm sure the organization can taste it, but the fans can taste it. So every time I enjoy it, and I'm from LA, I always say, you want to have a good time, go see a game in a great facility, come to Edmonton, watch a game, you'll have a great time.
Dennis, I want to get you on. I want to talk about the Kings. So since we talked last, Ken Holland's being announced as the general manager of the Los Angeles Kings. Ken's fingerprints are all over this Oiler team. He made some huge, like the Matthias Ekholm, Evander Kane, Zach Hyman, Brent Kulak. Go down, like they made some huge additions. And so he won't get his name on the cup for this team, but he has his fingerprints are all over it for sure. What do you think is like priority number 1 for Ken Holland, and how big of a swing do you think he might take this summer?
Well, he takes big swings. So I think the number 1 priority, though, Jason, before he gets to July 1, is to sign Vladislav Gavrikov. Like, they don't have a replacement for him. He's a 22-minute-a-night guy. He likes being in LA. He's talked about being in LA, but there's still no contract. I think you got to get that deal done, because if you don't, it's going to be a regression. Then you would have to trade it for a top 4 left side defenseman. They don't have it. Like, Joel Edmondson's really good as a third pair defenseman. He's not a guy who's going to want to play 25 minutes a night. So that's job one. Number two, I think they're going after Mitchell Marner. I really do. Like, that's the big swing. And that's the one thing about Kenny that's different than Rob Blake. Rob Blake took one big swing. We all know what it was. Pierre-Luc Dubois. It didn't work out. Now, he saved himself by trading for Darcy Kemper, who was great for them. But I think the big swing, I love Brock Besser. I know the player. I love the kid. I think he would be great here. He'd help the power play, a right shot that they had. And look, yeah, they got struck goal with Kuzmenko, but Jason, you saw when the playoffs started and the games got more difficult, Kuzmenko wasn't around. Brock Besser would be the type of guy. But, here's the thing. If Mitch Marner came to Los Angeles, he'd live in Manhattan Beach. No one would know him. He could walk down the street with his newborn and his wife, and nobody would bother him. It's not the case in Toronto. So will they try for him? Yeah. Will they get him? I have no idea. But that's the one thing about Kenny coming here is that the team isn't that far away. And you take one beer swing. Because here, they have a core 3. You saw it in the playoffs. Quentin Byfield is a number 1 center now. Everybody in Edmonton knows about Adrian Kempe and how much of a killer he is in the playoffs.
Kempe is my favorite player on that team. God, I love him.
Yep. And Kevin Fiala, once he settled his issues with Jim Hiller, became a 35-goal scorer and a more responsible player, a two-rate player. They need one more guy. Would Marner be the guy? Yes. So he'll take a swing, And don't tell me that Drew Doughty on the back end of his career wouldn't want a Mitchell Marner. And they have size in the middle. Like, they have some size there with Kopitar, with and Byfield. So I think they'll take it swing and Marner. If they miss on that, maybe they go after Brock Besser. But that's the one thing about Kenny. That this team's close enough where if he does take a big swing and be successful, it could work for this team and get them a deep playoff run.
Yeah, like I don't expect Ken Holland to be a guy who's going to be like, oh, this will be a slow one. And the thing I like about Ken is he's not afraid. He goes, not every move you make works out. If you make enough good ones, then you can overcome the bad one. Because every GM is going to make a signing here or there, whatever it is, that doesn't work out. And we saw that in Edmonton. He got his team all the way to the Stanley Cup Final. If Leon Draisaitl's healthy last year, maybe they win the Cup. We'll never know. But, I'm kind of curious to see what he does. The one thing he might want to do is, like the Kings, I think they would have beat Vegas. I truly do. I just think Edmonton is like the bad matchup for them. As good as Kopitar Byfield are, they just still don't have the center. Like, nobody does. But it's just LA, they probably could have got out of the first round a few years if they would have played anybody but Edmonton.
Yeah, and even more length, Jason. You look at what the Oilers do, blocking shots and stuff like that. They don't really have long. They have Edmondson, but they don't have a lot of size on the blue end. So if they went and got a kid like Mikkola, that type of player to block more shots, be more of a physical presence, I think that would help. But yeah, Kenny will take big swings because he came in and said, "Look, I don't want to touch that much. I don't have to rebuild a 105-point team that can't get by the Oilers in the playoffs." So there's a lot to work with. But yeah, there needs to be one more big swing.
Yeah, well, Ken Holland, the Oilers fans going to test. The one thing he did was add size on his back end. Like they had a huge back end, and he believes in it. I think that the playoffs are a good example of it. Like, people always forget, everyone talks about Evan Bouchard offensively. I'm like, Evan Bouchard's 6'3", and that gives him a lot more length on the back end. And give me your thoughts on Bouchard, Dennis, and just how well he played without Ekholm.
What was the narrative about Evan Bouchard for up until the season? Matthias Ekholm made him. Well, guess what? How great has Bouchard played in the playoffs without Matthias Ekholm? Like, him by himself, he's established himself as a premier. Look, he was elite before, but people said, I know Ekholm got his back all the time. The kid's played great. He really has. He's worth the $10 million now. Now, maybe a couple of years ago when he made defensive mistakes, and it's been more responsible. But you're right, Jason. He's a big guy. And we talked about this last night at the media gathering, right? The prototypical defenseman is a Cale Makar, a Quinn Hughes. That's not Evan Bouchard. Evan Bouchard is a big player, and I just love the way he's played. And he's really stepped up without Matthias Ekholm. So now you could say this player on his own is worth the money he'll get on his next contract.
Dennis, what does your crystal ball tell you? What should we expect tonight?
Well, it's not Game 7 for the Panthers, but it sure as hell is Game 6.5. You're going to tell me if they lose tonight, Jason, against a team who will be 14-2 if they win tonight, that you're going to get off the deck and win 4 out of 5? And I know the Panthers could say, oh, well, we were 0-2 before in the playoffs. Are you telling me the Maple Leafs are close to the Oilers? You're not going to tell me that, right? They have to win tonight. They have to be the more desperate team. I picked the Oilers in 7. I feel good about the pick. I think you picked the Oilers in 6. It could be the Oilers in 5. If they win tonight.
I actually picked the Oilers in 5. So
they look like a freak team. If they go out and win tonight 4-1, I want to see how Bob plays. But the Panthers have to be the desperate team. They have to go home with a split, because the way the Oilers are playing, Jason, they're not losing 4 out of 5. They're not. I would be totally shocked. And we could talk about last season. These are 2 entirely different teams. So I think this is the night the Panthers have to growl. And if they don't, it's going to be a very, very difficult hole to climb out of, because the Oilers are playing so great.
It is crazy to think, Dennis, that in the salary cap era, there's been 19 playoff series in the Stanley Cup Final. 14 of them started with the home team going up 2-0. Right?
Yeah.
Like so the Oilers if the Oilers win tonight, that's 75% of the Stanley Cup Finals in the salary cap era start 2-0. Like nuts.
It is. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Always good to catch up with the DB. We will enjoy it. Stay warm, get a toucan, and we'll see you at the game.
Thanks, JG. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
I bet you. That's Dennis Bernstein from the 4th period. And I'm very interested to see the Kings. They take a swing at Marner. I think they would. No, quite and I'm interested about the money. Mitch Marner at the right price, I would take him. Mitch Marner, to me, he's not more, I wouldn't pay him more than David Pastrnak. I don't care that the cap's going up, but that's just me. But if you get into the $13 million range, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he gets out of Toronto and all of a sudden it's going to be now I still think he's a skilled player. He will need somebody on his line who's got a little oomph, right? And that's the one thing about the Kings. So if you bring in Mitch Marner, I thought the Kings forward group wasn't big enough as is, to be honest. Fiala was physical, Moore was physical, but as a certain unnamed Oiler defenseman told me, he goes, they hit you, but they don't hit you, right? Evander Kane, he hits you. Pod Coles, he hits you. Sam Bennett, he hits you, right? There's hitting, and then there's hitting. And, you get Mitch Marner, I think they'd have to go out. And now Tanner Jeannot, he could do it, right? But he's more of a third-line guy, but still, he could add to it. And I think they might need another one like that. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440. That was our playoff report brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $12,000 on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali Ultimate. Check it out right now, gmccanada.ca.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win $10,000 with a hole-in-one, plus great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge, open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
We've got some good news for you. Employee pricing is back at St. Albert Dodge. You pay what we pay, and if you're in the market for a new vehicle, it just doesn't get any better than that. You'll get a great deal, and it's so easy. No complications, no negotiations. The pricing is simple. Your biggest challenge will be choosing the vehicle you want. Employee pricing. Come see us now for the best selection and the best pre-tariff prices of the year, and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Kevin Carius, Low Tide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup Run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Jumpstart your summer with Wendy's delicious drinks. Enjoy a small iced coffee, Frosty-ccino, or Frosty Fizz for only $1.99. But hurry, get your $1.99 small drink at participating Wendy's, only available until June 29th. Taxes extra.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So the Friday continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. You can always get involved. Text us 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our inbox. We are live and on the rocks where, oh man, it's the calm before the storm right now as the Oilers and the Panthers are set for game number 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And you want to get down here. Hey, remember the Pink Pony Jugs. That's the special in honor of Zach Hyman with Pink Whitney's and gin, and very popular in game 1. So you might want to try it if you come down to OTR. Now let's get to the Oil Report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. You can lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from only 1.49% and save $5,000. The final month's being extended. It's done at the end of June. So check it out, VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. As we are joined by longtime NHLer, now analyst for the Florida Panthers, Bill Lindsay joins us. Bill, as always, welcome back to the show. Bill, did you get in any golfing yesterday on the off day?
Yeah, actually I did.
Nice. Where'd you play?
Beautiful course. It's right here next to the hotel. It's down by the river there.
Oh, the Mayfair?
Mayfair, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So nice. we got out there and geez, that was gorgeous.
Well, it's a beautiful day out too yesterday. So great time for golfing. The Panthers, they didn't play poorly in game 1. I don't think they love their play. Specifically, I want to talk about the third period. They're up leading. They get outshot 14-2, relinquish a lead. First time in 32 games that the Panthers have lost when they led in the first or the second period, which is an unreal number under Paul Maurice. But What did you make of the third and overtime, Bill? And do you think they'll be a little bit more aggressive if they have a lead tonight?
Yeah, they have to. They have to be able to get after it like they did in the second period. And for the Panthers, it's been the staple for them has been the push. How they can push so hard for 60 minutes that most teams just when it gets 60 minutes long can't stay with them. Well, Edmonton was able to do that and have that pushback in the third period. And the Panthers, there was some heavy legs. I thought, okay, after that third period got through overtime, they come up the first 3-4 minutes and the push was back. Thought maybe something was said in the dressing room. It looked much more aggressive, get after it. And again, felt a little flat as it went on. So maybe the legs are a little bit fresher tonight, a little bit ready to go. And they got to be able to make sure against this Oilers team, sometimes the best defense is going to be a good offense. You got to be able to hem them in their zone for periods of time. You got to have that hefty forecheck that they've relied on for so long. And this Edmonton team, you saw how balanced. I was really impressed with Kris Knoblauch, and even when he went to Draisaitl and McDavid together in the third period, to still balance out the ice time. I looked at the forwards. I think that 14 minutes, around the 14-minute mark, was the lowest forward ice time, and we had 3 players. I know Gadjevich got banged up, but still 3 players under 10 minutes. Got to be able to get that up on the Panthers side. 3 lines is not going to compete against 4 many nights, especially when you have superstars on the other side. So that's been a staple for this Panther team, maybe a little bit deeper bench tonight.
The absence of AJ Greer, I know he's a fourth liner, but he brings a lot, and usually Paul Maurice allows him to play that line more if he's there.
Yeah, he does. AJ Greer is not going to go again tonight, but he's fast, he can skate, he's responsible, hits everything. He's got that toughness that you want in the game. So that's a lot more reliability when you have AJ Greer on the ice. Maybe not quite as much confidence, and they just seem to fit that line just a little bit better when AJ Greer is on it. Some adjustments will have to be tweaked and modified going into this game. And for the Panthers, they want to look like it did in the second period. Even the first period was okay. Just cannot get away from them and get pushed around like they did and sit back, as you mentioned, in that third period. This Edmonton team is too good. We saw it in the LA series when Jim Hiller decided we were going to sit back. That didn't work out too well for LA. We don't want to repeat that same mistake.
Bill Lindsay joins us. Bill, it was Jones and Mikkola up against the McDavid line for the majority of that. And man, Mikkola looked really good again. What did you make of the Forsling-Ekblad pairing for Florida in game 1?
Struggle. Yep, first time I've really seen them struggle that bad. So they got to be the turnovers, getting beat. Bouchard toasted them one-on-one. You never see that against Forsling. That just never happens, and that's coming. I know Bouchard's an exceptional offensive defenseman, but Forsling's used to going to the other team's top forwards. So to have that kind of happen, have them struggle on the back end, they're going to have to be a little bit better at what they do, not only defensively, but there were some missed clears by them, some turnovers, uncharacteristic play from Ekblad and Forsling, who were so dynamic last year for us as a shutdown pairing. And you mentioned the move off with Mikkola and Jones. This should help Forsling and Ekblad be a little bit more confident in the offensive end, jumping up. It just was not the case in game 1. It was not their best performance.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you, like, it seemed uncharacteristic for me. And so I just, I wonder kind of, the minutes played, do you think that's an issue? Because, Edmonton's defense had anywhere from 23 to 31, while the Panthers had 3 guys over 30. And Nate Schmidt, who I thought actually had a really good game. Him and Kulikov were only playing 17, just over 18 minutes. Is that just a normal one, or do you think they need to use their third pair a bit more?
Yeah, Nate Schmidt was awesome. He has been all these playoffs. That third pair, but that's usually around the numbers. Forsling and Ekblad, they're usually during the course of a 3-period game around 23, 24 minutes. But Seth Jones has been accustomed throughout his whole career around that 27, 28 mark. So to run him out there for 24, 25 minutes is a normal thing, especially if he's going to go against a McDavid, or especially if they put McDavid and Draisaitl together, that the ice time's going to go up for Jones. He's on the number 1 power play unit, kills penalties. So that kind of sways. I'm more comfortable with edging up the ice time on the back end than I am cutting it down up front and running players a little bit heavier up front for us. That's just not normally our approach. We like to attack. You have to have that energy. It's a real hard system for Paul Maurice. When you dump it in, you got to be able to get the puck back. That means you have to hit. And there was over 100 hits in that hockey game. And this Edmonton team is physical. And if it's going to be that way, that's where I don't worry about it on the back end, but I do have that hesitation if I still see 6-7 minutes for our bottom line. I think that's very important get those guys engaged and make them have an impact for us.
Bill Lindsay joins us, analyst for the Florida Panthers. Bill, I was watching Sam Bennett. I don't know if I've ever seen Sam Bennett this confident with the puck. Like every time he's coming up the ice, he was dangerous. He comes in the zone. He's almost looking like Draisaitl. He's slowing it down. He's delaying. He scores 2 goals. He's making plays all over the ice. Like I know he's not a huge point producer in the regular season, but I don't know if I've ever seen him this confident with the puck. Have you?
It's been good for him when that confidence gets going. It seems when the stakes are higher. That Four Nations did a lot for him. When he come back, he's been a lot different player. He was scratched at the start of the Four Nations, had that big impact in the gold medal game. But when he does have the puck, he has the ability to. When you have confidence and you're a good player, you can see them just hold on to it for that extra second. In the playoffs, you don't have as much time as you like, but you have more time than you think. And once you get that understanding as a player, that it's going to be rushed and it's going to be fast. But in your mind, when the confidence, you especially see with a player like McDavid that's three steps ahead, he's always has that ability to hold on to that puck for an extra second when a lot of people would get rid of it a heartbeat earlier. And Paul Maurice talks about 6 inches all the time. Just hang on to it for 6 inches. It's going to make the difference in the world. And that's where Bennett's at this point. And you noticed the last game, and that is very true. It's about as high as that I've seen him play, because a lot of Bennett's stuff is done without the puck.
Yes.
So when you're starting to notice him do stuff with the puck, with all the other intangibles that he brings to a game, it's pretty impressive.
Priority number one's got to be to re-sign him, right? Are you expecting him and the Panthers to come to an agreement before July 1st?
Yeah, there's been some news out there that maybe it's hopeful. So yeah, I would really love to see that. He's such a big part of this team. What the number is, the goal scoring, can you imagine? He went 24 games without a goal this year.
Yeah.
Try and wrap your head around that. So it's just, but you pay him for this time of year, and he's in a situation here where it's a perfect fit. The systems, the players that he gets to play with. So there's a good chance that he gets it done, and there's going to be some serious conversation, and we'll see how it plays out. But I'm sure Bill Zito is doing everything that he can. And from the Sam Bennett side of it, is if he's comfortable here, likes it here, then you come to a point with your agent and you tell him, okay, this is a number I'm comfortable at, that I feel that it's okay and that it's fair. You always want it to be fair from your player side, and you want to max out your money. But you also, as a player, you got to understand, okay, well, I got a good fit here and a good thing going. And if it continues like this, it's going to lengthen my career. So they're going to work at both ends extremely hard. And I believe there's a pretty good chance it gets done.
Bill, one last one for you. The Panthers, of course, lost the Cup final in 23. Then they won it last year. It's a unique group to get 3 years in a row. And so they know the euphoria of winning, the devastation of losing. You're around this group every day. Is there, do you buy into fatigue at all? Or is that even not a factor? Like, yeah, they've been there. They played a lot of hockey games, but you're in the Stanley Cup final. Like, fatigue's not an issue, is it?
I don't believe so. What these players have gone through, it's crazy now, Jason, with the amount of sleep study and everything that goes into it, the nutrition and the days off, and when you're going to do things. It's so enhanced from back in the days. You wonder how you can how you should feel maximal every night. I know it's not the case, but a series like this is going to grind, and that's going to test you. But both teams were there last year. It is a lot of hockey. It's an understanding, but this group is comfortable being in these type of situations, understanding, okay, we have to go out, we got to play our best game. And I've seen it time and time again from this team. When their back's been against the ball in the regular season, they needed wins, even in these playoffs. They've been able to deliver pretty good performances. They're going to need that tonight. Yeah, I mean, I don't really buy the fatigue. You're playing. This is the dream. This is the pinnacle of a player. This is everything that you want in life. So when you get here, like, you're remembering every drop of bead of sweat that comes off your body, every play. It is, your memory is so enhanced, so narrow, so focused, and if you can't deliver at this time of the year, then and you blame it on heavy legs, yeah, you got an issue.
Well, Bill, enjoy the game tonight. Dennis Bernstein said it's not Game 7, it's Game 6.5. We look at historically, you go down 2-0 in a Stanley Cup final, it's pretty hard to come back. So I'm expecting the Panthers, a team that has a championship pedigree, to be coming out frothing at the mouth tonight. Should be a hell of a game. We'll see you at the rink.
Yeah, these are two hell of a teams going at it. So I'll see you down there. And this Edmonton crowd's loud and proud. It's fun to be here in this city and enjoying it again. And we'll see what the Panthers can do tonight against a real stout Oilers group.
Awesome. Thanks, Billy. Have a good one.
All right. Enjoy.
You betcha. That is Bill Lindsay, analyst for the Florida Panthers. And, that's the one thing. Like, we had the NHL puts on a media event last night. So the media from all over the place. And so you kind of get a little bit more time to chat with people, and they come in from all different markets, and lots of them, some of them, they've never been to Edmonton in the playoffs, and they're like, you see it on TV, but they're blown away by just not how loud it is just at the warm-up, but just the continual, it's awesome. The crowd, they get it. If there's a little bit of a lull, all of a sudden the crowd, here we go. The other thing that I've noticed, watch when the anthem goes. So they'll play the American anthem, and then there's they pause for a bit, and then you got the "Let's Go Oilers" chant for a bit. It just gets the crowd fired right up again. It's a small little thing, but to me, that I love the natural. There's no sign on the screen, cheer, right? They do it lots in the regular season. It just shows you don't need it in the postseason. I like it when it's authentic, when it's just raw, and away you go. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. We'll come back. We got Cam Tate. What's Tater on about today? We'll find out in the 2-minute warning. We'll also hear more from Kris Knoblauch, Connor McDavid, and a few others on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, coming to you live and on the rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street.
What does excellence truly mean, and how does it guide your choices? At Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't just a goal, it's their standard. They shine in every aspect, from top-tier customer satisfaction in sales and service to impressive inventory, strong customer loyalty, and prices that are tough to match. Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
The ballpark will be full of furry fun as your Edmonton Riverhawks invite you to bring your pets to the game this Sunday afternoon for Paws in the Park. Get your tickets today to watch the Hawks play at GoHawks.ca.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Wilhockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
I'm tired of waking up tired.
Pod Colson, and I'll send you that Pod Colson clip right now. It's pretty short.
Experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker, and join us for the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Mr. Rooter toasts the newlyweds.
A relationship is like a hot water tank. It brings warmth, but only if you start with a spark. Your love is the pilot light, and the burner is your love growing from that tiny spark. And the anti-corrosion anode rod is the sacrifices you make for each other to keep things from getting all gross and crusty. May your love last as long as a Mr. Rooter workmanship guarantee. For life.
For a plumber you'll keep for life, call Mr. Rooter.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The crow of the rooster, the drip of the coffee maker, the creak of the shed door, the turning over of the tractor, the rustle of debris, the loading of the trailer, the building of the pile, the strike of the match, the burst of flame, the driving back to the house, the twist of the bottle top, the feet up after a job done, the rolling into bed, the wind hitting the windows, the wondering if the pile was fully out, the fear that it's too late, the panic to get your family and neighbors out in time. 63% of Alberta's wildfires were started by people. Don't be that person. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Feeding a crowd, get the triple play. 3 large specialty or 5 topping pizzas for only $54 when you use promo code 3play at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Is it a Friday? Continues on the Rocks. Jasper Abbott, 118th Street. I'm Jason Gregor alongside Connor Halley. As of course, the Oilers and the Panthers. We are less than 3 hours from puck drop. Coming up on about 2.5 hours. So I know many of you planning to get home in time. Just hey, this is not the day to rush. Get in an accident, the worst. So be safe on the roadway home. Get home safe. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Now, let's get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair. He's been wheeling around, no pun intended, all throughout the Stanley Cup Finals. And Cam, for many years, wanted to be in radio, but due to his disability, couldn't until now. The wonders of technology allow Cam's words to come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Tonight, and tonight only, it's Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final, and the Clones are absolutely buzzing after that Game 1 overtime thriller. A 4-3 win for the Oilers. Draisaitl with the dagger. McDavid with the dish. The building went bananas. But you know what it's all worth today? Bupkis. Absolutely nothing. Zero. Nada. A big ol' goose egg. Because momentum in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's a fraud. It's a myth. It's a mirage in the desert that'll leave you crawling towards an oasis of disappointment. I mean, what do you think is happening in that Oilers room right now? You think Kris Knoblauch, a guy who's got the calm demeanor of a bomb disposal expert, is walking in there with a highlight reel? You think he's slapping guys on the back saying, "Great job on Wednesday, fellas. Let's ride that wave." So, what have you done for me lately? What? But he'd be right. That incredible third period comeback where they didn't outshoot the Panthers by much, just 14-2. Forget it. That electric overtime winner? A memory. Gone. Erase the tape. Bye-bye, forget it. That's the word you never hear them say, but it's what they're all thinking. Short memory. That's the cliche, right, Gregor? Well, it's not a cliche, it's the gospel. You won game 1? Big deal. You're up 1-0? Means nothing? No gold stars here? You haven't. You're not one win closer to the cup, you're just one game older. Because the second you start thinking about what you did, you get your lunch fed to you by a team that's thinking about what they're going to do. Florida isn't thinking about that loss. They're thinking about redemption. They're thinking about payback. So, while the rest of us are still buzzing, the Oilers have to be a collective blank slate. They have to. Tonight isn't about momentum. It's about starting from scratch. It's about earning it all over again. A new war, and it starts now. 2-minute warning with Tater, Gregor Show, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sports 1440.
There you go. It's a big game tonight. Big game. Cons, what's your thoughts, expectations for tonight?
I kind of like what Cam says there, because I'm not a big believer in the whole momentum carrying over in this fashion. Like, the Oilers have to go out there and they have to earn it all over again. This Florida Panthers team is legit. I mean, the Oilers got the win. That was great, but they were down 2 goals. And, I think they got to, beyond their P's and Q's, they got to be playing good, strong, fundamental hockey, and you can't get the Panthers the opportunity to bounce back. I think that for the Edmonton Oilers, getting that win, though, is so big just to get the job done at home. We didn't see that last year, having healthy Leon Draisaitl, healthy Darnell Nurse, Evander Kane out there, bringing that physical presence. Like, I think they just got to keep that going and towing that line of being physical, but not taking those penalties that set you back. So I think we're going to see another physical performance from the Oilers, lots of hits, and just try not to give those situations. And I wonder how the defense will be on Mr. Bennett in front of the net. Maybe trying to get goal sight on him, not letting him fall towards the crease.
Yeah, like we saw it on the one play, and honestly, he fell towards the crease because you tripped him. So don't trip him, right? I didn't really notice Sam Bennett around the crease the rest of the game. So, hey, I guess, and it was kind of a weird situation, and obviously it's big. It was funny. I was talking to Mike Rupp yesterday, and he was still at him. He goes, "I thought they got that call wrong, man. Thankfully Edmonton won, because that to me would have been a brutal way to lose on that goal." So there's still lots of disagreements on whether or not that should have been a goal, shouldn't have been a goal. Oiler fans, trust me, it wasn't just you who thought it shouldn't have counted. And, I guess if you're Edmonton, I think the key for the Oilers, when you think about that, there's that goal, and then there was the power play goal on the ensuing delay game. The rest of the game, Edmonton really controlled it. And that's kind of being the template here for 6 weeks. Look at game 1 against Dallas. The Oilers at 5-on-5 dominated. They had a 6-minute stretch of terrible penalty killing. They allowed 3 goals, and they took some dumb penalties. 3 goals in 6 minutes. The Vegas game, game 3 was back and forth. An own goal into your net off a Draisaitl stick with 0.4 seconds remaining. He didn't play poorly. So, the Oilers, just the way they've been playing, they've really controlled things here. It's hard to win 13 out of 15 playoff games. Really hard. And at times they made it look easy. So I think if Edmonton plays their game, they win again tonight. I haven't seen much from other teams that will tell me that the Oilers are going to lose. Now, they could lose a game. We just saw them lose a game to Dallas and Vegas, and I'd argue Florida's probably better. But man, I heard some whispers around that Florida team, maybe a little bit banged up, and if you're mentally not 100% in, man, that could be the difference. You might be 99, but if you're not 100% in, that could be the difference. Now, Vasily Podkolzin, of course, first year with the Edmonton Oilers. And he's come in, and I think he's been super reliable all year long, right? Hasn't been a huge offensive player, although his production in the playoffs has been much more. He had 24 points in 82 games. Now, a lot of that's playing with Draisaitl, so you'd definitely like a few more goals, no question. But if you look at his production, 24 points in 82 games, he's got 7 points in 17. You do the math, he's on a much better pace right now, right? Much better pace. So good for him. And game one for a guy who was the 6 years ago, he was the first round pick of the Vancouver Canucks, 10th overall in 2019. The draft was in Vancouver, if my memory is correct. And his younger brother, Mikhail, was at that draft. It's the only time he's ever been in North America. He's never seen his older brother play a live NHL game until game one of the Stanley Cup final. He's 14 years. Now, think about how excited you are, regardless of your age, but just think about kids in your house, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, whatever the age they are. And now think about their older brothers playing in the Stanley Cup final, and you finally get to watch them live. Like, that's a big moment. So sat down with Vasily today, and first of all, just talked about, his brother and that experience for him as an older brother to know they was there, but also to have his little bro in the building.
That's great for him, and I'm super glad that my family is here. I would like to see my sister too, but she didn't get a visa yet. And but for my brother, I think it should help him to make a step to the big hockey, to see the atmosphere here, to see what you're working for. And I'm super happy that they're here.
And for you and your line, game one, obviously a huge goal from victory. You created a few other chances. Just the chemistry that you guys have right now, what makes it work so well?
I think we just playing for each other and try to be useful and be strong every shift. And I think we just we don't think too much. We just playing with our instincts and play for each other. I think that's the main point.
And obviously you've been here the whole playoffs all year long. Was the Stanley Cup final, did you notice it was a little bit more exciting, a little bit more nervous for you in that game one?
Of course I knew it. But if you're honest, when we make a final, I always thought if I'll make a final one day, it would be something like new emotions or whatever. But honestly, it was our leadership group did a good job to sharing calm mood and responsibility with us, with other guys, and I feel pretty calm and confident before game one.
So the silly puck holes, and afterwards we spoke, and it was, I can see the excitement. First of all, his parents are here. Now, his parents have seen him play before, so that's nice. But not only is his brother here, hey, it's hard. His sister didn't get a visa. Tried, just didn't get accepted to get a visa, unfortunately. So, so she couldn't come. But his younger brother, Mikhail, came. He's hoping that his sister, he said they'll try again, later this year, next year, and hopefully she can get a visa. So, those are small little things that you don't really ever hear about. And you know what? It's just because you play in the NHL, you don't get everything you want. And, it's a long time away. His little brother gets to play with his niece because she's almost 2. And Vasily was telling me about how they try to put the headphones on her, and she just, the earphones, she doesn't like it. It's too loud. So, she watches in the crowd a little bit, and said she was actually pretty good last game. He goes, it's like she understands the intensity of the playoffs. She's able to watch a little bit longer there because, of course, obviously his wife wants to be at the game. She does go into the family room, if she gets a little bit too rambunctious. And actually, he said Grandma takes her because, obviously Grandma doesn't get to see her granddaughter as much as she would like. So any moment she can. And it's just a reminder that as much of the stress about the game is on. And, for him, having his brother around is being he says, just a great distraction because his brother's so excited just to see everything. He marveled at the gym. He never seen a gym like that they have. Anybody who's ever been in that Oilers facility, it's pretty high-end facility. So, anybody out there who's got siblings, I think you can understand how cool that would be about how that would go. Hey guys, Gregor, what's your thoughts about the buying tickets for game 5? Do you think more will go on sale? Well, I don't know. I can't read it, Kris. But I would say this. Now, if there is no game 5 and you buy tickets, I'd probably recommend buying it from, the Oilers site or Ticketmaster, because then you're going to get your money back. Right? If you just buy it from some rando and there's a sweep, I don't know if the rando is going to give you now because that person would double dip, because not only they have their money, you would get your money back, because the Oilers, they won't charge you until there's officially a game 5. Right? That's just how it works. So I don't know. It's I guess buyer beware. But if you buy it from Ticketmaster isn't going to take your money and then not give it back if there's no game 5. So I wouldn't worry about that at all. So, hey boys, Tater was bang on with that one. Love it. Well, yeah, why not? Tater's pretty good. When we return, Craig Button is going to be with us in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll also hear more from the head coach, and we're going to get your thoughts. You're creeping closer. Under 2.5 hours. What's your thoughts? Game 2. Confident? Super confident? Nervous? Even keel? Or other? Let us know, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. As it's time now to get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Stop in at Fountain Tire because guess what? This is road trip season, baby. And the last thing you want is to be on the side of the road. Fountain Tire not only do the tires, brakes, check your alignment, all your fluids, ensure you are running smooth all summer long at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final going in just over 2.5 hours. You got Oilers Panthers down at Rogers Place. Oilers leading 1-0. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson gets going at 5. Former NHLer Landon Ferraro will be along for the ride as well. At the RBC Canadian Open right now, Cameron Champ atop the leaderboard, 12 under par. Andrew Putnam sitting in second. Then you got a couple Canadians tied for third, Richard T. Lee and Nick Taylor. Also Taylor Pendrith, Mackenzie Hughes, Corey Connors, Hunter Thompson advancing to play over the weekend. CFL action tonight. Alouettes taking on the Argos just after 5:30. Tomorrow, the Elks kicking off their season out in Vancouver. That'll start at 8. At 5, the Tiger Cats taking on the Stampeders. In town tonight, Riverhawks looking to remain undefeated as they kick off their series against Bellingham. First pitch, 7:05 down at Remax Field. And in the CEBL, you got the Stingers out in Montreal taking on the Alliance. That one gets going at 6 o'clock from the French Open. Yannick Skinner and Carlos Alcaraz will meet in Sunday's final after both winning today. On the women's side, Coco Gauff and Ariana Sablenka meet tomorrow in the final. Coming up in hour number 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions and be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats, like Alex here.
My phone.
I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
One field, one mission, 0 tackles. Sports 1440 proudly supports the 24-hour charity Flagathon, June 13th to 14th at Torres Field, benefiting the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation. Non-stop flag football fun and fundraising, all to help the kids who need it most.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta sports and casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slaya smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
It's the summer big red sale at Canadian Tire. Save up to 50%.
What are you doing?
These are the biggest deals of the season. I'm shouting it from the rooftop.
You have a radio ad. You don't need to be up there.
The summer big red sale is on from June 5th to June 12th. Conditions apply. Details online.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, noods. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood, oodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, noods. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood.
Troll low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday, just after 4 o'clock. How are you? Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, your one-stop shop. Get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50, and remember, they get an odds boost for Oiler games in the postseason at PlayAlberta.ca. We are live and on the rocks. Jasper Ave, 118th. Man, it's filling up already here. The Oiler jerseys are coming in. People are excited. They're fired up. You're 2 minutes and 2 hours and 15 minutes away from puck drop. Tonight, game 2, the Oilers and the Florida Panthers. We'll take your thoughts via text 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our email inbox. I discussed, earlier, the importance of tonight's game for both teams. It's crazy for me that in the salary cap era, the 19 Stanley Cup finals that we've seen thus far, 14 of 19 began with a team up 2-0. 14 and 9. Oilers do it tonight. That's 15 out of 20. 75%. I think it's supposed to be like the 2 best teams left in the league. And now, of those previous 14, 12 of the 14 winners who went up 2-0 won the series. Oilers, of course, lost games 1 and 2 to Carolina, lost in 7. They lost game 1 and 2 to Florida, lost in 7. They're actually the only team to lose in 7. All the other ones lost in 5 or 6. The only 2 teams who were able to overcome it, Boston in 2011 to Vancouver, Pittsburgh versus Detroit in 2009. That's it. So, man, if you're the Oilers, you get a win tonight, you got a really good chance. That means you'd be 14-2 in your last 16 games, and then the Panthers would have to win 4 of the next 5 games. Like, it's just, is it possible? Sure. But I'd say it's very slim chance if the Oilers can get a win tonight. They take a stranglehold on the series, and it would be massive for them. And I think they know it. They seem like a hungry group. They're a focus group. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling? 833-401-1440. Boys, Oilers 3-1, 3-0 tonight. Skinner comes up big. We get a power play goal and add a late empty netter. Mark in St. Albert. Hey, guys, I'm not sure if anybody saw it, but did you see on the Draisaitl goal? Tkachuk was doing everything he could to avoid getting hit from Dave. Well, I think he got his head up because Kane's coming like a freight train. And, you know, anybody at that point, you're standing up kind of where he was in that instance. I don't know if it's that he's scared, but you're just like, hey, the guy's coming right at you. Him not getting hit or getting hit wasn't going to change the outcome on that goal. But, yeah, it was noticeable. Like, Kane was in his face all night. You saw any chance he could get, he's giving it to Tkachuk. Right? Any chance he can, he's going to get in his grill. And that's just, hey, that's part of playoff hockey. Right? Now, what's interesting about Sam Bennett was I thought Sam Bennett was way more dangerous skill-wise than he was physical-wise in game one. And like he was Florida's best player, I thought, by a long shot. He was really good. Mikkel, I thought, was pretty solid for them on the back end as well. But Sam Bennett, man, like he was really dangerous every time he had the puck. You didn't. Now he's still physical, but you didn't see one like Bennett really running anybody over. Now maybe that changes tonight, but you know, that to me I thought was pretty impressive. Hey boys, I have to say, for a Stanley Cup final game, I can't believe how calm I am. I truly believe the Oilers are going to win. I'm not even drinking the Kool-Aid from Dan. Yeah, I get it. So, hey, boys, somewhere right now I'm between nervous and even keel. I know it's a great team. I know they're Stanley Cup contenders over the last 4 years. I know they're better this year than last year. My heart tells me we're going to win, but my head keeps being that little a-hole that reminds me about the decade of darkness. The scars run deep, and it feels like we weren't allowed to have nice toys. Hoping for the best. Love the team. Hope they win from Trailer Park. Ryan? Hey, guys, it's my anniversary tonight. That said, we are going out tomorrow. I'm not sure if the wife loves it, but sometimes it's easier to ask forgiveness and permission. 5-1-0, Team Dean. Wow. Come on, Team Dean. Your wife must know. Right? I get that it's your anniversary. Now, first of all, which anniversary is it? Is it number 3? Now, if it's 25, maybe a little different. But I get it. We got some text. Hey, guys, it's my daughter's grade 9 grad, and then my wife booked a dinner afterwards just to test my patience. So I have to figure out how I can go through dinner without finding out the score so I can get home and watch it. Well, this would be any advice, he says. This would be my advice. Tell everybody in your party they're not allowed to bring their phone to dinner. Because if you don't have your phone, and then when your server comes over, say, hey, we're all taping the game. We don't want to know the results. And I guess the restaurant they're at doesn't have a TV. So you probably could get away with it. Just tell the server, don't tell us, and have everybody in your party leave your phone in the vehicle. 2 reasons. A, you don't know the score. B, when nobody has their phone, you're way more naturally conversing. Because nothing drives me worse. You see people out for dinner, and they're not even talking to each other. They're just on their phone. It's the worst. So I think it should be mandatory. When you go out for dinner, especially on a date, no phone. And don't tell me, oh, I'm just going to put it in my pocket, because most of you can't control yourself. Just leave it in the vehicle. It's great. That's what I would do. 16th, Greg's. 16, you know. If she stuck with you this long, just because you delayed the anniversary dinner one night, I don't think that's going to be a deal breaker. All right. Get her something special. Make her some sort of deal, though. If the Oilers win, she'll get like a foot massage or something. Right? Or a different type of massage, if you know what I'm saying. There you go. Hey, boys, Reinhart and Tkachuk look injured. I don't see Florida pulling it off. Very confident the Oilers are going to win in 5. Steve in Wetaskiwin. Hey, guys, you think the reason Florida hasn't been practicing is they're so banged up? Blood in the water for the Oilers. They got to smell it from Frosty in Leduc. It's possible. It is very possible. You know, although some guys might be banged up, for the whole team not to practice, that was pretty odd. Like there was barely, I think there was like 3 guys in the ice. So to me, that was it was a little bit odd. Let's hear from a few more players before we get to Craig Button. Connor McDavid on the team's confidence, even when they're trailing in games. Oh, I can always yell when Cons is she's swearing through my earphones. That's when I know something's wrong. Technical issues back at 1440 HQ. Is everything good now, Con Man?
Looks like we're good now.
Serenity now. I love it. All right, here's McDavid on the team's confidence, even when they're trailing in games.
Well, it's a situation that we've been in a number of times now. I think we all understand that it's never over with this group. You know, we can come back in those situations. We're comfortable in those situations, as uncomfortable as it can be to be down. We got a belief that if we keep doing our thing, we can work our way back and crawl back into a game. And we did that the other night.
Well, they've done it every time. They've 7 games this year. The Oilers have trailed at some point that they've come back to win. That's the second most in one playoff year. The Oilers set a franchise record for 4 third-period comebacks in the playoffs. So they know how to come from behind, man. They dominate in the third period and in overtime. That's where they've really crushed teams to the tune of 26-10. They've outscored them in third periods and overtime. Pretty impressive. Also asked McDavid about how, Pod Colson's younger brother, Mikhail, and, coming in, getting to see his older brother play for the first time. And you have all this stress, and anxiety around the cup. But when you see something like that, is it kind of just, relax you a little bit and remind you of what's really important?
Yeah, it's the time of year where the family room becomes, a really fun place. A place, where you get to see, where everyone's kind of come from, parents, siblings, friends, you name it. People are coming from far and wide to watch these games and support us. And, Pod's his brother, seeing him there, young guy, first time seeing him play, it was exciting. Fun to get to meet him. And, it just makes you feel like you know the guy a little bit better. Kind of forges that bond and that connection for sure.
I like how he said that. Right, forges, because it's true. Every little small tidbit that you feel like, hey, I'm a little bit more connected to my teammates. And I talked to some of the guys afterwards, and they're like, you know what? You kind of take it for granted when you're a Canadian or you're American playing the NHL that your family, right? There's going to be a city that's close to you, but sometimes it's your own. And whether that you come in once or twice a year, or you travel on the road, and if you're Ontario guys, when they go home to Ottawa and Toronto and Boston, like their families can come to those games quite often, where it's it's not a huge burden on them. And then you got some European players that it's just not the same, right? Like their families can't even watch a lot of the games live. It's just it's a little bit different. I saw Peter Drysdale about it. He goes, hey man, the games are coming on at 3 a.m. here. Like I can't stay up every night to watch the game. So it's just how it is. Now I do want to read this. We got this note from Doug from Wolf GMC, of course, a big sponsor on Low Tide Show. We love Doug and Mary. Their son Michael is in the Army right now. He's posted in Riga, Latvia, and for game 1 on Wednesday, he sent his parents a picture. 3:30 in the morning, he's got his TV on in his room, and he's watching the game. That's a diehard Oiler fan. Because, hey, man, you're in the Army and you're on watch over there. You want a distraction, I would think, at some point. And you want a connection to feel home. And so he's able to watch the game. He streams it on, plugs it through his computer into his TV, and he's watching game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. And kind of, sends his parents pictures. Hey, we're watching the same game. So that's pretty cool. And I know we had people in Ireland last game that were watching from a bar. Like you're a diehard fan, and you will find ways. I know some of you. Maybe you've got I remember a few years ago the dance performances dads who had the phones on. They're at the back of the room. Some of you are doing it tonight. I know. You're going to be at a place where you're like, oh my God, serenity now. I love my children. And you're supporting them while you're missing the game. It's part of being a dad or a mom. So good luck for all of you who are doing that. So, hey, Greg, you talked about all those emotions. Is it possible to feel them all at the same time? That's where I'm at, Antoine. It's true. Oh, it's a roller coaster in the games. No question. Even though you're confident, all of a sudden Florida's up 2-1, and then they're up 3-1, and you're like, uh-oh. Then Arvidsson scored. And like that, the importance of that Arvidsson goal, I don't think it can be overstated, because the building for the first time was a little bit quiet. Not long, because it was 3 or 4 minutes after Florida had scored to make it 3-1, that he made it 3-2, and it got the building right back into it. And then it was loud the rest of the way. And that goal, I don't think can be overstated. And that's a goal that Bobrovsky probably would like back. And to me, that's why, game 1, Stuart Skinner, he was the better of the goalie. I look at the Oilers' defense. I thought overall their defense was a little bit better than Florida's. And, the top guys in Edmonton. Now, Draisaitl had 2 points. So did Bennett. They each had 2 goals. But I thought McDavid was much more noticeable. Did you really notice, Cons? Did you notice Reinhart and Barkov in that game?
No, I did not. Even Matthew Tkachuk. Not as usual. Not noticing as much as usual.
Yeah, well, Tkachuk, I think, is banged up. But I also think there's the fact that he's banged up, and Kane gets in his grill. There's no doubt in my mind. He gets in his grill a little bit, and he's going to do it again, right? Like when a guy's banged up, you're going after him. You're not sitting back. You're going after him, as you should. 4:19 when we come back. Craig Button from TSN. Talk a little more on the Panthers, the Oilers, also the Dallas Stars. We didn't even talk about it. Did you miss that? Pete DeBoer fired today. And what about OKC? We got to talk about the Indiana Pacers. Are you freaking kidding me? Is there a better team at comebacks right now? Oh, my God. They're just setting NBA records. That game looked like it was over. Done. And they come back. And Tyrese Halliburton, all those NBA players who said the guy's overrated, that just shows you when people want to tell me, oh, yeah, the players should vote on everything they know. They voted him the most overrated player in the league. What? He is just shooting daggers in crunch time. The guy is 86% from the floor in the last minute of games in these playoffs. That is money for the Pacers. So that was an unreal game. I can't wait for game 2 on Sunday. Cons, did you watch that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's becoming appointment television now. I mean, I'm thinking we're all pretty pro OKC. I know you had them in 5, which could still happen. I had them in 6. But the Pacers, they just tend to linger around there. And is there anyone else right now you'd want shooting the ball to win or tie a game? This playoffs, he's been unbelievable when it matters.
Yeah. Oh, he's been great, man. But that game was unreal. It was electric. You can't turn a game off when the Pacers are playing right now. And that's what makes it exciting. It's just like the Oilers. It's funny. The Oilers, 4 third-period comebacks, franchise right. The Pacers, all these huge comebacks, deficits in the fourth quarter, 17 points, 16 points, 14 points, 9 points in the last minute, for goodness sakes. Kind of eerie, man. They could win. They could really win now. It's crazy. I still want the Thunder to win. But the Pacers can't overlook them. We'll come back. Craig Button will join us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live and on the rocks. Jasper Ave, 118th, your place to watch the game. If you want to get in with a bunch of Oilers fans and have a great time with some great drink specials, 60-cent wings and more, Jasper Ave and 118th Street.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store. Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Imagine a family get-together where the smiles are as genuine as the conversations. That's the feeling you get at Nisku Ford, a family-owned dealership where finding a new Ford feels just like catching up with old friends.
Make sure to swing by Nisku Ford in June to take advantage of 0% financing or choose a total savings of up to $18,500 on select 2024 vehicles.
The coffee's on, so drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$425. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Oh, but you know what? I love the text when everybody, you know, we have a good show and everybody likes each other when you can just do chirps. People are not even here. But here's from not Fred. Hey, guys, as far as how I'm feeling, I'm as cool as a cucumber tonight. I get more stressed listening to Struds try to pronounce 7-letter words or more, not knowing what he'll say. I shouldn't laugh, but that's actually quite funny. I'm actually going to take Cons, you should take a photo of that and send it to Struds. He'll laugh because it's true.
7-letter word.
Oh, 7. Well, any name of a player that isn't Smith. Oh, God, some classics. I remember when we used a few things. We just sent straight, okay, you need to pronounce this name.
Do you remember when he did Div 2 World Juniors?
Oh, my God.
We got to dig up some of that audio, I think.
Well, the best, you know, like when you sing lyrics to a song and you're like, come on, and you kind of just hum the words that you don't. Starting to be like talking about the defense. And yeah, and just skip right over it. Oh, my God, those are the greatest. Oh, we're going to have to ask somebody at TSN to get those. They were so good. I remember starting even saying, like, this is embarrassing, man. Like, oh, my God. Because he gets it. Like, he'll practice it before he knows it. But then when he's doing it off the cuff in the fly, oh, that is unbelievable. So good. That is. We might have to get those for the next Struds on. Cons, you might have to build one just with that. That would be unbelievable. I love it. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. Did you know in Spruce Grove they got the new arena? The watch party there. Go watch the game tonight out in Spruce Grove with all your friends. I know the young adults are enjoying it, getting together. It's a great opportunity to get together with a big group, have a big watch party. Check it out. Brand new arena. Brought to you by Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment, as Craig Button from TSN joins us. Butts, how you doing, my man?
I'm really good. Really good.
What is your, like, when you looked at game one and, you know, teams look to make adjustments, that's always what hockey's about. What adjustments do you think Florida's going to want to make?
Well, I think that they probably played a really good second period, and the other three periods, which included the overtime, you know, the Edmonton Oilers took it to them. And, you know, one of the things we watch with the Florida Panthers is they like to apply pressure. They like to keep you under siege, and they never let up. I thought they let up in the third period. Overtime, save for about 5-6 minutes. It was much the same. I think if you're going to play that way against the Edmonton Oilers, and the Edmonton Oilers have proven this, they may be down in a game, but they're never out. And they've learned valuable lessons over the course of this year's playoffs. And, you know, to me, they wanted to play a flip game in the third period, and, you know, it looked like they were trying to conserve energy. Steve Koulias, who I was on XM radio today, he said it looked like a team that was at the end of a 5-game road trip, and then they were heading home with 5 days in between, and they just wanted to, you know, kind of come out of it unscathed. This is the Stanley Cup final. It kind of surprised me, to be very, that did kind of surprise me. It seriously surprised me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And it's also the Oilers' ability in the third period to press and find ways to create an opportunity. And, you know, McDavid joked, because he was asked today, was the pass for Kane or Ekholm? Not going to tell you. All I know is it went in the back of the net, and ultimately that's all that matters. But like the Oilers, 4 times now in the third period, they've been able to come back and win a game, which is hard to do in the NHL playoffs. It's just very difficult. Most teams are good at protecting leads, because the Oilers, when they have a lead, you're right, they don't sit back. Sometimes I wonder, Craig, like you were GM for a long time, it's not like a coach go, okay, guys, let's sit back. It just becomes like this mental thing almost. And sometimes once it starts going downhill, it's really hard to reverse it.
Yeah, you say that, though, but, you know, the coaches are in charge, and you're playing a certain way, and the players don't just go out on their own agenda. And, okay, so you see a team falling into it, well, then it's the coach's job to lay the whip. You know, look what happens in a horse race. You know, sometimes the horse needs a little whip, and that's a coach's job. I think it's too easy for the coach to say, well, you know, it's not the way we wanted to play. I mean, Jim Hiller, I mean, is there any better example of changing your game style? Darcy Kemper talked about it. And like, the players didn't go out in the third period and go, okay, we're going to sit back. They were told to sit back. And if you didn't tell them to sit back, well, then whip them. And I say whip them, you know what I'm using. I'm using the horse whip as an example.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they got to go. And you look at Edmonton, I thought they controlled most of the first period, and it was really from a goal and then a video review that got them down 2 in a short period of time. But they were able to recover for a bit, but then they really slumped a little bit in that second period. And really, I thought the game kind of changed when Arvidsson got that goal. It's probably one Bobrovsky would ideally like back, I think. But, you know, tell me your thoughts on that Janmark, Podkolzin, Arvidsson line, and just how good they were. Like in overtime, I thought they were the Oilers' best line.
Well, they were applying pressure, right? They were skating. They were playing hard. Listen, I mean, you know, on that goal, no kidding, Bobrovsky wants it back. I mean, it's the difference in a win and a loss for the Florida Panthers. It was a terrible goal. And in a period where they were completely outplayed, a shot from that spot on the ice, I mean, can't go in the net. And, you know, I heard people before the series talking about Skinner. Oh, he'll probably let in a bad goal. You know, Oilers overcome it. Well, the Panthers couldn't overcome Bobrovsky's terrible goal.
Greg Button from TSN joins. But so we'll get to the Oilers, and you know, when you look at them, it's like, I think it's kind of captain obvious. They want to come out of their own zone a little bit smoother, right? But it's easier said than done, right? When you do that rim, and they're very good at it, you come out. There's lots of spin on that puck because they rim it around, and it's the defenseman who has to usually pick it up on his backhand off the boards. Right, and that's where Edmonton struggled a little bit. How do you think, like, you just got to get better at those rims, or is there anything else you think Edmonton can do to eliminate so they're not always going back on their backhands?
Well, I thought in the third period they did a better job of it, but they were getting to that spot on the board where Florida wanted to go and establish, you know, puck presence, and I thought they did a really better job of beating the Florida Panthers in those spots. And I think that was a little bit of an adjustment. This defense moves pucks pretty quick. They get the puck and they move it forward. I think that's one of the hallmarks of this team in terms of not letting an opponent pressure them. And I think just that adjustment on the hard rim around, I thought was really nicely done by the Oilers.
Greg Button joins. Greg, Pete DeBoer let go today by the Stars. Was this Do you think this is only due to the post game to Ottinger? Or is this because they've lost 3 years in a row in the conference final?
I would hope it doesn't have to do with one post-game scenario that happened after the elimination from the playoffs. I would hope not. You look at a coach that's been very successful, and not just in the last 3 years, but over his time in the NHL. And, you feel that you want to make a change. I think it becomes really hard to find a better coach than Peter DeBoer.
Yeah.
I think the easiest thing to do, Jason, is to fire the coach. I think the hardest thing to do is, okay, who's going to replace this good coach? And I think that's the challenge now for the Dallas.
Are you we thought the coaching cycle of hiring coaches, this will be 9 now, right? There'll be 9 teams with a new head coach next year. Has the NHL jumped the shark, Craig? In always, it's got to be the coach. It's always the coach. Now, sometimes a coaching change, Edmonton's a good example. It works, right? Clearly the team got better, but there's a lot of cases where it doesn't. Has it become too easy to just fire the coach?
It has. I think it has. With the way the money is paid now, I shouldn't say the money in the league now. I mean, it's $1 billion business for every team, right? I mean, the salary cap's 95 next year, up to 105, right? So, I do think it becomes a little bit easier to change out a coach, but at the same time, I think that again, who's going to come in and do a better job than Peter DeBoer? We can look at candidates and say, okay, that's a good candidate or whatnot, right? But I mean, you hear players and you hear the comment that, well, it's easier to fire one coach than a number of players. I mean, Wyatt Johnson, nowhere to be found in the playoffs. Duchesne, nowhere to be found in the playoffs. Mason Marchment, nowhere to be found in the playoffs. Jason Robertson, mostly nowhere to be found. Jake Ottinger collapses in round 3. I don't think Peter DeBoer collapsed. Those 5 players did, and 4 of them really didn't even show up in the playoffs.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I wrote it before the Oilers series when they played them. I said they're 5-on-5 scoring. They're on milk cartons all over Texas right now because they just hadn't done anything offensively. And Jim Nill, he's been up for the GM of the Year award. They made some pretty good moves, although I'm not sure this year he made any great move, to be completely honest. I thought Doug Armstrong should be a finalist, in my opinion, for moves that really impact your organization, no question. But what do you think, Jim Nill, what direction does he go? Do you think Dallas, Jamie Benn, obviously his cap's going to go down significantly, but where do they got to go? What do you think they got to do? Do you think, does Mitch Marner fit in there? Does Mitch Marner fit in better in LA? Where do you think, these teams look at as far as potentially free agents or maybe even Brock Besser?
I think the Stars are a soft team. So until Jim Mill addresses it and gets some harder players in there, they're not going to get better. And Mitch Marner ain't going to help them get better.
Yeah, well, that's soft. What about LA? Do you think LA is Marner?
Mitch Marner would be a great fit in LA because you got hard players there. And now you have the skill that Mitch Marner offers. And, you can put him in the spots and he'll deliver in a big way. But you don't want to take Mitch Marner and add him to a team that needs harder players.
Yes, no.
LA can support him perfectly. Look what happened with Kuzmenko. Yeah. I mean, Jim Hiller told me, he goes there was no wiggle room for Kuzmenko there because the demands are too high.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair, right? You got Drew Doughty and you got Anze Kopitar, and so that's it. So
you have Deneau. Yeah. You have hard players there. You have hard, Gavrikov is hard, and Mikey Anderson is hard. These are hard players.
Craig Button from TSN joins us. And so, Craig, let's go to Toronto. And so let's say Marner walks. And, here we are. It's June 6th. And, hey, anything can happen. Maybe he re-signs there or not. But if you're tree leaving, I look at Matt, I don't want to get rid of all my skill just because I get hard players. Ideally, I want some hard players and skill guys. I need skill guys. I know, Sam Bennett's captain obvious right now. I see the way he's playing. He's playing unreal. But you look and say, if you have a Sam Bennett and you mix him in with the Matthews and those other guys, that he can look him in the eye. Because I firmly believe it's more on the players who are ultimately going to get guys to live up to a certain level. The coach can only go so far. Eventually, if you want to go to the championship level, your players are the ones that have to look each other in the mirror and say, this is how we have to play.
Okay, you say that, right? Okay, but who out of their top players is wired?
Well, that's what I mean. So you need to get one, right?
So Well, who are you going to do? Like, Barkov's wired. You don't need somebody. McDavid's wired. Draisaitl's wired. McKinnon's wired. Kopitar's wired. Who's wired in Toronto? It's one of their top players. That would be nobody.
So then what would you do if you're Brad Treliving then?
He already said what he had to do, change the DNA. And he's not talking about the DNA around the edges. It starts right at the heart of the team. Now, I said everything should be on the table. Everything should be on the table if you're Brad Treliving. Everything.
Yeah.
Don't close your mind to anything.
Yeah, no, I love how you say that, Craig, because I think that's the key. You can't go in saying, we're just going to let Mitch Marner walk. Because I could make a strong argument that letting Mitch Marner walk for nothing rather than trade one of the other guys and assign Mitch Marner. And if you trade the other guy, it mixes your DNA up. Now, maybe Mitch Marner doesn't want to be there, right? Like I've heard, off ice and, the carjacking for his wife and some things that happen in the community. I get it. He's like, you know what? We want a change of scenery. And so maybe that's going to happen either way. What about like Morgan Riley? Like I look at their defense score. I still don't think they have enough puck movers on their back end.
Okay, so you talk about that. Like, again, like anybody you name is included in nothing should be off the table. 34, 88, Morgan Riley, all of them. If you can make a deal that makes your team better and changes it, you better be open-minded to it. Bill Zito won the President's Trophy. They went out in the second round. They scored 3 goals in a 4-game sweep. Jonathan Huberdeau had a year for the ages. He said, I'm not going to continue to do this.
Yeah, it was a great trade. You're bang on. Well, and they got in Reinhardt, and they got in Bennett. Like, wow, they made some wrong tour.
But you had Barkov.
Yeah. Well, that definitely helps. It always helps to have a starter.
Well, it does help when your key guys are leaders and they're wired. You don't have to worry.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Now, Craig, give me your thoughts. Is it thinking outside the box, or what did you make of the Dan Muse hiring for the Penguins?
Well, I think that what Kyle talked about was trying to have somebody that's going to work with their younger players. He's put a stake in the ground that they're going younger, and he feels that somebody that's worked with young players, at various levels. I mean, he did it at the national team development program, so a little experience working with that group of players as he adds in. He's going to be adding a whole lot of young players in it. So I think he was looking for a coach that was comfortable and familiar with young players and understanding, coaching them might be a little bit different than an experienced coach may look at it.
Craig, lastly, do you when you view this series, I can't remember who you picked beforehand, but did you go with Edmonton beforehand? And after seeing game 1, did it? And if you went with Florida, did anything change on your view before the series, or is one game not enough to change your view?
No, I felt coming into this that it felt different for Connor McDavid. And I'm not one of these people that says it's his time. He's ready to make it his time. He's ready to, and the team is ready. And I think that when your team gets to a point that you can meet the challenges, and I think they've had a number of challenges over the course of the season and in the playoffs, that they're ready. I had them in 6. Nothing's changed in my view.
And Butts,
although if Edmonton whips them tonight, it could be a sweep.
Have you started? Is pickleball up to the competitive level already now? Is it a little too early? What's the pickleball season shaping up?
It's preseason. It's preseason. I'm getting my feel, but I've had a couple of good matches that I feel good about my game.
Okay, all right. Now, do you have it, Craig, on the course? Like, do you have it on the course? Are you like a Barkov? Like, do you got it in you when you play?
100%. In fact, sometimes I got to temper it. I got to hide it.
That doesn't surprise me. That's so awesome. Have you thrown a pickleball racket in frustration yet?
No, I haven't. I won't do that. I don't think. No, I don't want to do that. So I don't do that.
Okay.
I just keep it in control.
In control. Okay. So we won't be calling you Craig McEnroe anytime soon, is what you're saying.
No. There'll be no Johnny Mac with this boy.
Awesome. Okay, Craig, have yourself a great day, buddy. We will chat with you
we'll
next
see
Friday.
Here tonight. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see you at the game. Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.
There you go. That's Craig Button from TSN. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. That was our big guest of the day. Brought to you by Silent Eye Sports and Entertainment. We'll come back. We got 5 questions. We're getting closer, about an hour and a half from puck drop tonight. Oilers and the Florida Panthers. And lots of people are starting to think that this might be, a big night for the Edmonton Oilers. Woo, mama. Imagine a game where it's like a little bit of a blowout. Oh, the excitement in that building, the excitement at On the Rocks, the View Party, wherever you're at, you're in your neighborhood watch party, or maybe you're like the one who's like, I just like to watch it alone. Just kick back, maybe the dog's with you. Who knows? But could be a very fun Friday night. But something tells me it might not be stress-free for Oilers fans. We'll return to the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work to you, GS Construction wants you to be part of their team. Right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for underground sewer and water work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-sized shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
We've been waiting for this since preseason. It's playoff time, and Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey. Kevin, Lowtide, Jason, and the pre- and post-game shows with Andrew. So many reasons why we're Edmonton's sports leader.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
What does excellence truly mean, and how does it guide your choices? At Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't just a goal, it's their standard. They shine in every aspect, from top-tier customer satisfaction in sales and service to impressive inventory, strong customer loyalty, and prices that are tough to match. Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at Cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So Friday continues on the Jason Gregor Show, live and on the Rocks, Casper Ave, 118th Street. Your place to watch the game. The Oilers fans, the Oilers jerseys, Oilers tank tops, it looks like. Hey, whatever floats your boat, whatever you get, enjoy it. Hey, if you want a t-shirt, check it out, 780. We got a new stock of the Sports 1440 t-shirts representing the Oilers in 2025 playoff run, which has really been a lot of their depth guys. Their best players, of course, show up, but their depth guys have been huge. That's what the t-shirts are. Check it out at 780. You can even just go to 780 website. You'll see the Sports 1440 page. It's pretty sweet. We're going to have lots more stuff coming this summer. Now, it is the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, odds boosts for Oiler games on game day tonight. So, feeling is a Draisaitl. He could, if Draisaitl scores 2 goals tonight, or Sam Bennett, they could become only the second players in NHL, so basically since the Second World War, to have opened up the Stanley Cup Finals with consecutive multi-goal games. The only player to do it, Mario Lemieux, in 1992 with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's get 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick, where saving you more, it's what they do. They got the bedroom sales going on right now. You can make your bedroom a dream come true. 40% off bedroom furniture and select mattresses, and up to $1,500 off sectionals at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. Let's keep the tradition going. Game 2 prediction and mix in a bold prediction as well.
I have the Oilers victorious tonight. And bold prediction, Podkolzin scores in front of his younger brother, Mikhail.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, I'm going to take the Oilers to win as well. I'm going to say 5-2 with an empty netter. And from the stat you just brought up, Leon Draisaitl becomes the first player since Mario Lemieux to score consecutive games with multi-goal games. Question number 2 for you. On the topic of Draisaitl and McDavid, how long will they center their own lines tonight?
Oh, I think for the majority of the game tonight. Because I think Edmonton's not going to be trailing 3-1 at any point. They're not going to have a long stretch. Like the second period was not a good period for Edmonton last game, except for their goaltender. He was excellent. So I think, we'll see them on shifts after a penalty kill out together, maybe late in the period. But I think for the majority of the game tonight, they're running their own lines.
Yeah, I'm with you. If we're going to go with our predictions, the Oilers, in my eyes, are going to be up 4-2 until the end of the game. So I think things will be going well, and that'll be a strength for them. Question number 3, did the DeBoer firing in Dallas surprise you at all? And who do you think could be the coach to take them to the next level?
It's a great question on who's going to be the next coach, because I was a little surprised. I think it opened up the door with the post-game reaction or comments from DeBoer and everybody else. And they're like, well, Jake Ottinger's new contract kicks in. Come on, again, stay there, yada, yada, yada. I look at it and say, I agree with what Craig said. Like, they went to the 3 conference finals, but they're getting a little bit older. Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, they lost Joe Pavelski. Now they got Heiskanen. They still got some guys, but Wyatt Johnson, you know what? He's going to have to be able to elevate, and I'm not sure he can that much, to be honest. So I think Dallas needs a little bit more speed on their team, and they need a way more injection of a little bit of grit and sandpaper on that team. Because honestly, yes, like were the Oilers ever physically challenged in that series? I don't think so.
Yeah, I was thrown off by it. But I guess I understood it. You got to eventually get over the hump. Finishing, top 4 in the league isn't good enough. You want to get further than that. If I'm looking at a replacement, I don't know. I'd love to see a new fresh name, but I'll go Gerard Gallant. Maybe he gets the call.
He might, you know what? That's a good name, actually. I don't mind that name at all. I could see that. That one makes a lot of sense for me, Cons.
Yeah. I mean, I always liked him. Like to see what he could do there. Question number 4 for you. Of course, the Elks kicking off their season in Vancouver tomorrow night, 8:00 start. What's your prediction for that game?
It's a tough one for them. They're on the road in BC. It's going to be a huge crowd. The lines are pretty good at home. The Elks got a whole new coaching staff, lots of defense, offense. But you know what, Cons? It's Positive Friday. So I'm going to say the Elks in an upset win in BC.
I'm with you. We try not to make a habit of always picking the home team, but like you say, Positive Friday. I'll take the Elks to win 28-25.
Trust me, I didn't pick the Elks to win many games last year. So,
yeah, I try to be honest. The question number 5 for you to wrap it all up today is National Drive-In Movie Day. Seems like those are a thing of the past for the most part. I went to one 3 years ago with Ashley. It was pretty cool. But I want to ask you, is there anything that's kind of gone by the wayside that you would like to bring back into 2025?
Oh, go first.
2 for me that come to mind quite quickly, and one stays on the movie theme. I would love if video stores came back, like a Blockbuster. Growing up, that was the best, going to rent a movie or a video game for the weekend. And bring back waiting in line to buy tickets. People camping out like the day before to get Oilers tickets rather than just sitting on Ticketmaster's website. Those are things I would like to see come back.
Oh, that's not bad, right? Rather than just, those ticket whores, as I like to call them, right? That just gobble up everything. I don't like that. So that's pretty good. Things I'd like to bring back. I'd like to bring back fighting in the playoffs, a few more than one. So that would be one. And I would like to bring back for the younger generation lower prices at sporting events. Well, for everybody, for food and beverage, because it's jumped the shark. It's ridiculous, man. Like a bottle of water is $8. What are we doing? So yeah, I'd bring back some sanity in pricing.
$8, really?
Yeah,
man.
$8 an order game. Like what? You're just better off go to the say, can I just have a glass? Right? Come on, it's a magic water. $8. Give me a break. Fires me right up, man. But anywho, 833-401-1440. Hey boys, what about Columbia House from Mark? Did you ever order off Columbia House?
I got a Weird Al Yankovic CD from Columbia House. Yeah.
Oh, I like it. Now, the other thing that, hey, and this from Jordan, and I wholeheartedly agree. One of the worst decisions our city ever made was getting rid of the City of Champions sign. It was a joke. This whole, we need a new slogan, like that thing. I sat on the boards and argued for it. I'm like, what are we doing? It was slogan schmogan. It's City of Champions. I don't care that somebody else is called. In Edmonton, there's City of Champions. Well, because somebody got it. Who got offended? Because I always hear that somebody was offended. Who? Tell me who was offended. How the hell does City of Champions offend you? Well, it was just about sports. No, it wasn't. Do some damn research. And even if it was, who cares? When you see the sign, you don't just think sports. Think City of Champions. So, God, Jordan, you get fired up, and I totally agree with you. Like when you think about dumb, unnecessary decision, let's take the signs down. Why? Like honestly, why? Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Brutal decision, con man. Terrible. Now, it is Positive Friday. So the good news is city's still functioning very well. And people are filling up, getting packed. Everybody's ready to roll. Friday night, game 2. Oilers and the Florida Panthers. I got the pregame show coming up with Walks and the fellas. They're going to be fired up, as are you. Remember, please, everybody, drive safe. And if the Oilers win tonight, don't do anything stupid, okay? Don't do anything stupid. Be smart. Respect your city. Respect your neighbors. Respect everybody. Have super fun. Enjoy it. And we'll talk to you on Monday to discuss potentially Oilers up 2-0. Or it's going to be a pivotal game 3 with the games tied at 1. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice and the Dragon Booster Mixer, the Dragon Slayer. Have you tried it? If not, you should. Also, the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer and Dragon Booster Ball, only at Booster Juice.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals going tonight just after 6 o'clock. We've got pregame coverage for you here on Sports 1440 with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro coming up next. Of course, the Oilers leading 1-0 at the RBC Canadian Open. Cameron Champ atop the leaderboard at 12 under. Andrew Putnam's currently sitting in second, 10 under par. And you got a couple Canadians tied for third, Richard T. Lee and Nick Taylor. Also advancing to play over the weekend, Taylor Pendrith, Mackenzie Hughes, Matthew Anderson, Corey Connor, and Ben Silverman. Andrew McCulloch just missing out on the cut. CFL tonight, Boatman in Montreal taking on the Alouettes. The Edmonton Elks kicking out their season tomorrow night in BC. That one gets going just after 8 o'clock. And in town tonight, you do have the Edmonton Riverhawks looking to remain undefeated when they kick off their series against Bellingham, first pitch 7:05. And the Stingers in action out in Montreal, taking on the Alliance. Tip off for that one at 6 o'clock. French Open today. Yannick Skinner and Carlos Alcaraz will meet in Sunday's final after winning their respective matches today. And on the women's side, Coco Gauff taking on Ariana Sabalenka in their final tomorrow. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Up next is pregame coverage. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.